Guinto Bros, always starring Jerichos.
Already.
Welcome to the Guinto Bros podcast. My name is Karr Guinto, and here with me today is Jericho Belmonte. And
Hi.
Here with us are our special guests. That was so bad. This is so bad, but still, we have Randall, Dela, Cruz,
Hey.
and Taylor Webb back again. She really wants to be on this podcast permanently, right?
I was requested back, thank you very much. I was specifically requested.
This podcast is for the politically incorrect, ignorant, or downright stupid commentary by the Guinto Bros and the few that roll with us. Hello, everybody.
How come there's only one bro here?
I was just thinking like Guinto Bros and
There's only one bro.
Kendall's watching the NBA playoffs right now, so there's more important things to do, but
Cool.
it's okay.
That's
So,
fine.
how's everybody doing?
Good.
I'm great.
You're great. But anyway, we got Taylor and Randall here. Randall specifically wanted Taylor on to talk about a few things she talked about in the podcast.
And now I'm nervous.
Oh, she's nervous!
No, don't be nervous. Just be you.
For the first time!
There's just a couple things that were said, and I was just like, just thinking about it, and it was a good podcast, and I was like,
Is it like gonna call me out things?
Yes.
I'm not really calling you out. It's just how some situations can be handled differently, or like the way that I guess when you guys were talking about like insecurities and stuff like that, how it was almost like looked down on, because I think insecurities are like an okay thing to have.
Right.
I would say that's fair to a certain degree.
Yeah.
I know, that's why we're here to discuss all these insecurities and issues that these two, well, Randall specifically, wanted to address, which is great, but
Alright, I'm ready for it.
how's everybody doing? Anything new that happened? Jericho, what do you got? What do you got, Jericho?
I bought a car.
You bought a car?
Yes.
Tell us about it, please.
It's very
That's how we're
nice.
starting it off. We're gonna lose people real fast.
No,
here.
we're gonna banter about this shit first, and then we're gonna...
Yeah,
get to our main
you should have
topics.
went straight for the throat.
No, the throats could be like for... We can continue, but let's start off fucking easy, you know?
No, yeah, I bought a car. It's good.
That's good. Awesome, Jericho, thank you.
Let's move on.
Oh.
Taylor, it was your birthday this week. How was it?
It was great. Spent it with family.
Yeah?
Yep.
We're gonna go out to Olive Garden soon, though.
Yeah.
Awesome.
100%.
When can we set that up?
Whenever you want, Karr.
That's not true. You always fucking... You cancel...
Okay,
when
but you
get
ask last minute.
No, I...
You gotta be like, hey, want to go to Olive Garden tomorrow? And be like, yes, let's go.
Yeah, but
Not, let's go to Olive Garden in like an hour. It's like, well,
Taylor,
sorry.
let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about being spontaneous.
I was spontaneous last night. I canceled my car to be spontaneous.
Yeah, she canceled on me to go suit shopping.
I did.
And I'm like, yo, what the fuck, man?
I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. The whiteout party's a little bit more exciting than,
Watching me dress up?
Yeah.
Why? Because the Jets are gonna get swept?
Sorry.
Facts, actually.
But,
I blame you now. It's your fault.
wow. Alright.
But yeah, how was your birthday?
It was good. I don't know. My birthday's always like super low key, nothing too extravagant.
What did you do?
I literally had dinner with my family, and then my oldest
Where?
at my house.
Okay.
And my dad always like barbecues like steak, potatoes, carrots, my
Ooh,
favorite
yeah, that's
dinner.
legit.
And then had cake.
Do you know what kind of
Obviously,
cut of steak it was?
my uncle and aunt have a farm,
Of course.
and so it's from there. It's really great.
That's legit, yo.
It's legit. I don't like store-bought like steak. It's fucking gross.
Hey, can I have?
Can I ask?
Like, do they sell it?
Yeah,
Where?
that's it.
Well, I don't want to pay.
It's like
Okay, Jericho doesn't want to pay. I would be okay to pay.
it's like from out. They have a farm out in Nipoa.
So I have to go to Nipoa to get...
No, I can like see if there's. I don't know what time of the year they do it at, but I can inquire for you.
Yo, that's legit. I'd be so
Oh, I'm
down.
so down for that.
Yeah, Randall's a cooking master.
Really?
Yeah, level 5.
Level 5.
Level 5.
But yeah, and then I had, and then me and my oldest sister and her boyfriend went to tavern.
Oh,
Watch-
third wheel. Cool.
Jeez, I'm always a third wheel.
GC?
You don't
Yeah.
have to be.
That's facts.
Oh god. And
Not for me. Just saying. Although that would be super lovely. But not for me.
don't worry, Jerry, I'm not interested.
Oh.
Not even a little.
Not even a little. I'm sorry.
It's really hard to do this sober. Holy shit.
I'm telling you.
I did it sober at like fucking 12 a.m.
She sleeps at 10. So
I do, so that says a
She's
lot.
pretty rebel.
That's just a lot.
I know, I'm old. I'm old now because I'm 22. So
Okay.
I'm so old.
Do you remember 22?
I know, you guys are all old
Stupid
as fuck.
22.
We wilded till now, basically.
Well, Jericho, you're 29, right?
Yeah.
Hey.
God.
How old are you two?
Don't worry about it. But anyways.
Karr, come on.
Well, everyone knows I'm 28.
Okay, well,
So,
I
last year in our 30s. Or in our 20s. This is our last year in our 20s, boys.
Yo, I don't feel fucking 30.
I know it's...
I don't feel 30.
You do.
You don't actually act like you're... I feel like I'm older than you sometimes.
Because you sleep at 10?
Everybody's older than
I'm
me.
sorry. True.
Hey, I've been maturing.
You
Slowly but surely.
Yes, that's true.
Who's Shirley?
Oh my god. Like that.
Okay, that was great.
Okay.
Your birthday was awesome, right?
It was great, yeah.
Yep. Okay, Randall, how about you? Anything going on? Any significant things that happened?
Yeah,
What happened?
everything. I don't know, man. March was crazy.
What happened? Tell our viewers. I know they're gonna listen because Randall's.
I got diagnosed with... well, it's not even a for sure thing, but I have some kind of medical condition now. Grandpa passed away. I don't know. It was just really rough. And, I have you guys and a lot of other people to thank for getting me out of... I mean, you guys already know from, I guess, the last episode that I was on that I deal with a lot of depression and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was... March was a tough one for sure.
Yeah. We understand, but at least you're here and you've gone through all this stuff, but then you've.
Yeah, it's
all-
everything's better. Everything's
better.
getting better. So
You look good.
thanks, girl.
You have nice hair.
Thanks, girl.
Shut up, Cook Billy.
Yo, word. But yeah, no, everything's good.
That's good. So you want to get into why you came? Well, first of all, you came on to Jericho and I in the group chat and talked about our previous spot with Taylor. So I guess we can get into that now, then.
Oh god.
What issues, topics, things that we've said or Taylor said that really wanted you to be on again for the spot?
Why do you hang out with these guys? I'm just kidding. I'm just
Because I
kidding.
have no one else, I'm just kidding.
It's true though, but yeah.
No, she has people now.
I have people now, yeah. Working my way up.
Yeah. Okay, Randall, what do you got?
No, it was just about like the whole, as I mentioned earlier, like the whole like insecurity thing and how we see it or how we deal with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't know about your relationship as much as like what you kind of brought up from the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But how long were you like with this person for?
Which one? We talked about multiple. Are you
The,
talking about
the last
The
one.
recent
the,
one.
the
yeah.
last one? 10 months.
Yeah. Like, again, I don't know how the timeline kind of worked or what kind of happened in between all of that, but I mean, if you were to replay some of the scenarios going back into, what kind of happened between you two, do you think there was anything that could have been done differently?
Like reaction wise, you mean, right?
Like anything. Like, for example, when you were eating lunch.
Mhm.
Yeah, that scenario where you were eating lunch and you were on the phone call with him.
So that was kind of like the stick that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't change a thing. I acted very calm, cool, collected, and he was the one who kept escalating things. I don't know, I guess Jared can attest to this. When I was back 4 years ago, as we established that's when I first met you, I could be a little bit quick to react to things like that and get a little bit
Hasty.
on the defensive side for sure. But with that last thing, I wouldn't change a thing. I think I handled it very well and appropriately and maturely.
He got to the point of like,
Yeah.
just, like being disrespectful, right?
Right.
So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone were to react, and let's say you were with someone and he was like, "Hey, like, I not comfortable with you going out," or not that, like where he, let's say he worded things differently,
Right.
and he reacted like, "Hey, like, who's there? I thought you were like by yourself or whatever." And do you think that would have been different? That whole.
No, I think that totally would have changed things. And I tried to explain it to him. Be like, it was just a very confusing mess. Yeah, definitely how tone and how things are worded definitely can change a whole situation. But I tried to redirect where it was going, and how I was talking to him. But it was set in his mind that this is where it's going, and there was no change in that, no matter what I said or did. So, like, I tried to be, like, like, being calm and be, like, trying to talk it out, as you should. But he just it was falling upon deaf ears, and nothing was getting done with that.
Well, you said yourself that you're a pretty reactive person.
I would say prior, like, a few years ago I was. Now I'm getting a little bit. Are you okay? I'm sorry. Are you done?
I'm sick.
No, like, fuck.
Okay, it's okay.
If I get sick after this one.
Like, I would say, like, a few years ago, like, I was, like, pretty easily to react to things, but just honestly, I would say this past year has been the biggest change for me personally on, things like that.
You don't think that you just grabbing your bags out of the house and just leaving isn't a reaction?
What are you referring to? Sorry.
So, like, so in the conversation, I've listened to this podcast, like, many times. So, once this situation happened, where you guys are talking during your lunch, after the podcast, it goes right into you going to his house and grabbing shit, right?
Yeah.
So that's what Randall is referring to.
Well, there was a lot prior to that as well.
Yeah,
that I didn't get into.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does sound kind of like point A to point B kind of thing.
Exactly.
But there was definitely a lot of lead up that I didn't really get into too much.
Yeah.
Right.
But for me and what happened, like, it wasn't like such a huge jump. I can see how it could seem like that, but there was definitely tons of stuff like leading up to it that just kind of, like I said, it was like the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, it was just a lot was kept adding up, and the same situations like that kept happening where I'm trying to be the reasonable one, trying to redirect it, trying to resolve the issue at hand, and it just, no matter what I said, what I did, how calm I would stay, it didn't matter to him. He was just so reactive and so explosive in situations that were extremely minimal, even prior to that whole lunchroom ordeal.
Yeah.
And so it kind of gets to the point where you're thinking to yourself, it's like, okay. And I did have this talk with myself. I'm like, okay, like, what can I do differently? I had that talk. And, I even talked to my mom. My mom's my person, and she kind of gives me my rhyme or reason. And I even got to the point where I talked to my dad.
Yeah.
And my dad's not the most emotional person, but honestly, when he gives me relationship advice, it for some reason it just sinks in that much more because I don't know.
He's a male, obviously.
Yeah, and and it just gets to the point where it's like, am I deserving this? Am I deserving this reaction? And it gets to the point where it's like, I'm no one's therapist. You know, I'm not... Like, yeah, you have to be there for someone. You have to support them, obviously. But it gets to the point where it's like, is there something more going on where I'm not equipped to deal with?
Right.
That he has to deal with by himself.
Yeah, which makes sense because you only understand what you can understand, and then for him, he needs to go outside of you and other people and find what is going on with his situation.
Exactly, yeah.
And there's so much that you can do.
So then, let's say I'm in a relationship with you, and all of a sudden, you're doing whatever you're doing now, and you are, like, for work and for whatever, and then all of a sudden, our goals don't align. Or you're dealing with stuff on your end with family, whatever, and I'm all of a sudden like, you know what? I'm not equipped to deal with this anymore.
Would you just give up? That's what you're getting at?
Yeah.
No,
I mean, I don't...
No, I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna die.
Like, I am someone who wants to work things out, and with my ex, I did absolutely everything I possibly could in supporting them, and it literally got to the point where I was putting myself on the back burner for months just to help him. And in a relationship, you always should come and refocus on yourself. I think that's very important. You have to be selfish and selfless at the same time, and it's a really hard balance to do. But it was getting to the point where his problems were more on the professional side that need to be dealt with. My other exes, I've helped them deal with things too. With family, it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't. There's going to be rough patches. There's going to be hard times. You work through those, but you have to realize what's the point on where you actually can't do enough for that person, and you as myself, I knew I just couldn't help him no matter what I did.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things, and one, the first thing is, I watched this thing with Will Smith, and him and Jada were like having a conversation, and how they came up with this idea, which I'm starting to follow now, is I don't feel like I have the responsibility to make anyone happy.
Right.
And in a relationship, I don't think you have that responsibility to make him happy.
Right.
Or he has the responsibility to make you happy.
Right.
I think that, like you said yourself, you have to go do things for yourself. And I don't think, and this is quoting Will, that I don't think that it's fair for you to come up with him, or to come up to him, or vice versa, or him coming up to you. You both have empty cups, trying to ask for happiness, and you're saying like, hey, fill my cup full of happiness. Like, this is your responsibility. And I think that in a relationship, that happens way too often. I agree. And that's where it falls out.
100%. Yeah. I agree 100,000,000%. And I guess that's a perfect way to put it, is that I am okay with myself. Like, I can provide happiness for myself. But I felt like the problem in that relationship was where I feel used in that sense, was that he was using me for happiness.
But did he even know that he was doing that? Because I don't think a lot of people are actually aware that that's something that's something that they were asking for. You know what I mean? Like,
no, I 100% get it.
I 100% have done that in the past.
100% I've done the same.
Where, I feel like shit. Now it's your responsibility to make me happy or to do something about it. I feel like shit. Try to make me happy. No, I don't think it's fair for you to sit on the couch and watch TV while I'm feeling like shit.
Yeah, which isn't fair for both parties, because that's not the agreement you obviously have with each other. So.
No, and the thing that I haven't discussed is that I've sat down, I've had these conversations with him specifically regarding that.
Yeah.
Saying, like, I'm not here just to be here for you to feel fulfilled or whatever.
Yeah.
I've specifically had countless conversations like that with him. And that's why I'm saying where, no, it's not fair to just, I'm not going to end a relationship just like right then, right there, the first instance. It was a prolonged period over 10 months. And it gets to the point where it's like, I understand people have to grow and they have to learn from that. That's a really hard lesson to learn for people, especially in today's age, I feel like.
Yes.
But it gets to the point, it's like, at what expense to myself am I waiting for him to get that message or to get help or to deal with it or to change his view on things? And it was getting to the point where the treatment of me and my family, not even just me, how he was treating my family who was trying to help him as well. He just, like, wasn't getting it, and it's like, I'm not going to subject myself to constant abuse, really, like, verbal abuse, and my family to that, just because he may not know or be aware of this lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get it. And, you know, when it comes to, you know, another party being involved, or, you know, you've have had countless conversations, like, over and over and over again, like, when does it end? You know
exactly,
what I mean?
Yeah.
I also agree, though, that, you know, being able to have, like, constant reminder, like, sometimes, like, little small constant reminders when you feel like there's going to be that build-up again, I think that's, like, an okay thing. And I don't think that you have a responsibility of changing somebody or, you know, we're solely based, our responsibility is solely based on ourselves. Like, I'm responsible for the actions that I take and how I treat people. And he had that same responsibility, right? And unfortunately, you know, he didn't treat you with the utmost respect at times or whatever. But when things do get to, like, almost to that point where it is almost becoming disrespectful, was there anything that you could have done or that you did do leading into that? Yeah.
I did constant reminders, like, all the time. It was daily check-ins, it was daily conversations, on my part, and it got to the point where it was, like, out of my hands and, like, into his, almost, so to speak. I did my part, he just wasn't putting up his, I guess. I don't really know. That's why I say when it's more on the professional level where I feel like he is at with his problems. Because I did those things. I took every single step. I've had my previous ex before him, he had the same kind of issues, not to the same degree. And I was with him for 2.5 years. And, like, I kept doing it, and it's like, when you get to that point, it's like, hey, I'm exhausted mentally, and there's zero progress. And that's the thing, if he just showed progress or motivation or showed me that he was working towards that, not necessarily that he was there, because that takes a long time, but he did the opposite. He kept going backwards and kept getting worse instead of better. And for me, like, just the whole family thing and disrespecting them, that's kind of a... That's a huge factor for me. I'm very close with them. And, like, going back to my dad, like, when he says things to me, for some reason, it sinks in a lot more than if my mom or my sisters or anyone else in my family would just say something, because my dad only says something when he needs to get a point across. He kind of lets me do my own thing, figure it out for myself, which I love. But if he really feels strongly about something and feels like I need to know something, he says something.
For sure.
And he kind of did mention something to me, prior to the breakup as well. And it's just like, not saying that it influenced me because I was already heading that way, but it really,
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, exactly for me. So it's not like, obviously when you're talking about it, or even if you never lived what I lived, so you guys will never 100% know what I went through. Yeah. But I honestly, like, from just previous exes and having kind of similar issues, this time around with my latest ex, I really, really tried. Really hard, because I'm someone who wants to help someone get there. I know not everyone's gonna be where I am at with myself. Everyone has issues with themselves, and that's probably one of the hardest things to deal with in life, is yourself, and being okay with yourself, especially mentally. and I get that, but it kept going backwards and not forward, or even showing effort, or that he cared, or that what I was saying that he really took in.
Like, he didn't really want to work on getting better. It's just like, just kept going. It kept being detrimental to both you and him.
It was just toxic.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
So the second thing, which we kind of touched upon earlier as well, is you agree with me that having some kind of insecurity is an okay thing.
Yeah, 100%.
So when is it okay?
When is it okay is when I don't even know how to put this in words. I've been insecure. I've been jealous. I've been, probably unreasonable at times. But it's when it starting to become a pattern and a constant thing. And if you're not willing to talk about it or vocalize your insecurities to the person who you're supposed to be in a relationship with. Yeah. And that's a really...
Okay, Taylor, I know that you're going out with your girls tonight. I don't feel comfortable.
And I would question it. Like, for me, I'd be like, well, why do you feel this way? Before, the old me would be like, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm going out, like, blah, blah, blah. I would probably pop off, not gonna lie. Yeah. Now, I've kind of become more in tune with myself. But that just comes with maturity as well. Like, people grow into that, and some people never do. Yeah. But for me now, I'd be like, okay, explain to me why. I would want to have a reasonable conversation. If we can keep.
What do you mean? You've been with me for 3 years. You know I've been cheated on.
See that? Like, if you can have a calm, cool, collected conversation.
Yeah.
And it be serious, that's fine. But if you're just gonna yell at me just because, it's probably not the best route.
Okay, so let me start all over. I've been cheated on, and you know what? I'm just not feeling comfortable for you going out with your girls tonight.
Okay.
So wait. So is this more? I don't know what the objective of that question would be. For the scenario would to giving her that response, because what's the objective? Do you not just want her to go, or do you just feel like you're going to be cheated on and you don't want this feeling anymore?
That's the
type of questions that you're supposed to ask.
Because like, no matter who the person is, whether it's Taylor or it's anybody else, like, you're going to have this feeling anyway. But then the realistic scenario is like, what do you want from this? Do you want her to not go out? Or do you just want to be comfortable? I don't know,
Karr. I just want
to be comfortable with yourself.
I just feel uncomfortable.
So what do you want to accomplish?
Sorry, let me step in here. For me, I would actually ask that. I'd be like, well, why? Like, do it. And I would actually talk. Literally every single person I've dated has said this to me.
Yeah.
And old me, like with Jericho's favorite ex of mine,
yes,
I would pop off on him. I would. With my ex that we were just talking about, I would be like, well, why? Like, are you feeling that... And I would know his issues, so I'd be like, are you feeling, like, just anxious? Are you not feeling okay today? Like, how is your mindset, kind of a thing? I have opted out not to go plenty of times.
Yeah.
To go with people that I've already made plans with.
Don't ever do that.
Well, sometimes you have to. I think you do. Sometimes you do have to. Especially if you know, just depending on the person who you're dating. A lot of people do suffer or deal with
that kind of insecurity.
And mental issues where it's
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't play into it. It's a very, very thin edge that you play on.
I personally don't think that any of us have that kind of issue. I just thought that having this conversation and going over this on like a podcast,
because honestly there's nothing right of whatever decision you make.
Right.
It's either you're sacrificing your happiness having your girls going out,
again, I
or
think that
you being comfortable.
That goes into the line of like, okay, I'm unhappy, make me happy. You make me happy.
Right.
Not me making myself happy. There's nothing I can do.
But there's no right
that.
decision at the end. Right? It's only the right decision from the person who
I
feels comfortable.
I don't think he's looking for a right decision.
I'm not looking for a right decision.
That's why, every decision is supposed to either be beneficial or detrimental.
No, I am looking for a right decision, actually.
So what's beneficial for each party or what's detrimental, right? That's every decision ever made in the entire world. It's either what helps you or what takes away from other people.
For
That's
me,
everything.
if someone asks me that, I actually like have a conversation trying to get to the bottom of that, because sometimes it is just like
I was cheated on before.
yeah,
whatever,
exactly. You know what I mean? And it is that kind of a thing. I like to have a conversation about it and kind of go from there. There has been times where exes have said that, and I have had conversation. I've gone out otherwise. I've gone out anyways. There have been a select few times where I did feel like it was a little bit more important for me to stay with them. Just, you know, it's... For me, I hate that. I honestly hate that question. I've never given that to anyone who I've ever dated. I have been cheated on personally. I still have never been, I don't feel comfortable with you going out. But that's just me. I know a lot of people aren't like that. I know a lot of...
So I was like that. Like,
I
was
to be
like that
fair,
at
I feel
one
like it's more of, from my personal experience, it's been more of a male thing to say than
Well,
female.
no, I was like that only because I was cheated on. And then the person that I saw after that, she was like more than a couple of years older than I.
Mm-hmm.
And she showed a lot of maturity and everything like that. And I just, all of a sudden, just started growing trust and not getting cheated on again or whatever. And I think that through like that relationship specifically and the last relationship that I was in, every single like friend was a guy. It was males all the time, and I would never react, or you know, I would just let them do whatever the fuck they wanted to do or whatever. But like, I think this conversation for like the whole like insecurity thing is important, because I legitimately don't think that people don't know how to react when that kind of situation comes up.
Yeah.
So as you're saying that there isn't a right or wrong, I think that there is, and I think it's still what you're trying to do. Tackle the issue, have that conversation, open to communication, do all of that stuff, and still go out.
Right, but then it's just that.
So, Karr, I'm going to go out tonight.
Yeah, but someone.
But you don't want me to go out.
It's taking away from somebody else, right? So why is it a good thing? Right?
Is it good because it's justified?
So what's right in the situation where if you ask that question? I want to go out, but
okay,
you don't
so let's role play the situation.
You go for it.
Okay, I'm going out now.
Yeah, but I want to go out and I want to have fun. And
no, wait, I'm the one. You're the one that wants me to stay home with you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I'm going out now.
But I don't want you to go out. I've been cheated on before. And I feel like going out would mean you be seeing a bunch of guys, and you might get into a situation where...
So do you think it's okay to be in a relationship with somebody that you don't trust?
But that goes for somebody... That's, like you said earlier, that's insecurities between your personal insecurities.
No, but I'm just asking you a question. Is it okay to be in a relationship with someone that you don't trust?
Then...
So what can I do to make you feel more comfortable that it's okay for me to go out?
There is no right answer thing, because
I'm still in the role play, bro. Talk to me.
You're still in the
I like you, Randall. I like you.
Yeah, don't just keep talking to me.
No, you don't.
Okay,
Yes,
don't say it again. I'm just like, okay, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna be going out.
Okay.
If we're not gonna be in a trusting relationship,
Sure.
then why are we together? I'm not trying to question the relationship. I'm just saying that if you can't trust me, then why are we together?
Okay. Now I'm ending this because
I can't handle it.
I'm ending. It's not because you guys are both single, so you guys can handle it either. So
We're all single.
Exactly.
We're all single here, yeah.
Don't attack me because I have no answers. You guys don't have answers either. So here we go.
No, because I've also have dealt with this situation. I've also
That's what
been
I'm
a
saying.
part of that
That's what I'm
situation.
saying. It's like it's the trust where you go beyond
See,
that you want to accept.
that's Karr, in your situation. If you were like that role play, you have to be like, well, that's supposed to make you think about yourself, not the relationship. It's supposed to make you think about yourself and how you view yourself in this relationship, not the relationship as a whole.
But then
I'm not
obviously
done the role play. I just want to go through it.
No. It's because so obviously we have no answers to this because we're all single, obviously. So we have.
What do you mean, obviously?
But I've never gotten out of a relationship because of an insecurity.
Exactly.
I've never gotten out of a relationship because of this.
What do you mean? You think it's because... Wait. You want to tackle why you guys are single? Other than...
Yeah.
You guys want to tackle that? Because
Sure, I'll start with you, Karr.
There's obviously a reason why people are single, right?
Okay, let's start with you, Karr, then. I think we should start with
100%.
you. Why are you single?
Shit.
Well, because obviously people can't trust me in being in a relationship. That's what I think.
Why?
Well, maybe because I think... Okay, me personally, I've said this before, actually. I've said this before. Because I think people don't trust that I could be in a relationship long-term, basically. And that I flaunt myself to a point where I can't be trusted. I think this is very accurate, and then I can't commit, basically. And that's why I'm single.
I think
people don't see that I can be that way all the time, that I can just not talk to anybody and be faithful. Is that accurate?
I don't know. That's...
I'm asking you guys, is that accurate? You think I can't be committed?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, for me,
Yeah, I think
from a female perspective, I feel that I just don't feel like you want to be in a relationship right now.
Ooh.
That's the vibe that I get from you.
Ooh.
That goes with
That's a
the
big yikes.
flaunting that I'm like...
Yeah, and
Yeah, exactly.
no, that's fair.
I get what you're saying. Yeah,
100%. I feel like that's just like where, like for me, how you are and how you're interacting.
And I'm very self-aware. That's how people see me because it seems like I don't want to be single.
But that's what you put out there.
I think Taylor's single because she explained why she was single the last podcast. Is that fair?
What did I say last? I don't remember.
You just haven't found the right person.
Keep messing with Bustas.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you apparently
I don't think we should go that way. I don't think you finding the right person is different than being you want to go through all these and still be with that person. That's a little different.
Well, I think that for me, the people that I have been with, well, one is because I got cheated on, was that one, and then the one after that is because I was walking on eggshells every single day. Wasn't because of insecurities. It was nothing like that. It was because I was literally being belittled in front of her friends, in front of like our daughter, in front of my family, because I didn't know how to be a dad right off the hop.
Yeah. Which is the responsibility you took because you wanted to take that on.
Yes, but so if you're disrespecting me... if you're disrespecting me because I'm trying, and I'm trying to learn, and I'm trying to take on a responsibility that I think that is a huge fucking step to life. And first of all, she's not even my kid, and I'm stepping in and wanting to be a part of that's huge. And then for you to disrespect me, how is that okay? And you know, like the amount of times that I've fought for that relationship, it's like I don't have enough fingers and toes. And the last relationship that I got out of is because we both have a lot of growing to do.
Right. So obviously there's been the ones that are relationships that are still continuing. Like obviously there's been relationships that have been lasting for years. So what gets to how do you? Obviously, we don't have all the answers, but then how do you get to that point where even if there are mistakes and then you're not secure about what's going on with yourself and the other person, why do they still continue to be in this relationship?
Because they're afraid to be alone.
They're afraid to be alone?
I've been in relationships.
Is that one of your answers? Jericho?
Comfort,
yeah. Afraid to be alone, you're comfortable.
I feel like...
There's so many
There's so many
reasons.
I feel it's because they're willing to go through anything and they understand that.
And that's a beautiful fucking thing, man.
But that doesn't happen!
No, obviously it does happen because people are still married and still together.
Love conquers all.
Correct? People are still together.
Yeah, but some people just don't have the patience for it. And some people aren't able to are not wanting to fight that battle. And that's okay if you're not. And it's okay, like, you're not a bad person if you're wanting to walk away from a relationship that you can't handle anymore. Mm-hmm. But when is it, crossing that line where, I'm still here and I'm still wanting to fight versus like, I can't take it anymore. Because if you were going through what you were going through and you just gave up, does that, like,
I mean, I wouldn't say give up.
Well, okay,
that's
well-
kind of harsh.
See, that's the battle that I had. It's like, am I giving up too soon?
No, but
And like, that's like the line that I would always be with. Like, breaking up with someone's never easy. Even if they treat you like absolute garbage, it's never easy. Because that's the question. It's like, am I giving up too soon? Like, should I fight more?
so what if he came back to you and was like, "Hey, I've changed."
Actions speak louder than words.
So how am I even supposed to show you if you're not going to give me a second chance?
Can you tell real life? Because I know you've been through this, right?
I have gone back to an ex, and it was the worst mistake I've ever done.
Yeah.
Why do you think it was a mistake?
I think it was just because
Did you not learn the second time?
No, in that particular thing that I was talking about, it was because I was lonely. That was a thing, and that was a few years ago. But I was lonely, and
So you
I was
went
alone.
into it for all the wrong reasons.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
So that then that doesn't
But
help.
for me, and I've talked to Jericho about this, is I'm someone who loves to see the
best
good in people, the best in people, and I want to give them the benefit of doubt. And that's a really good thing, but it's also my biggest downfall. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that the biggest thing that is great for them is also their worst enemy at the same time.
Yeah, because it can get used against you.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like everybody... Okay, go. You want to go?
Go ahead.
I don't feel like everyone's around just to be used or using people on purpose. It's just the way that people...
Yeah, but you can't say that about everyone.
No.
Because you don't know everyone.
You don't know everyone.
But
I feel
some
like
people
that's
are
say that
so
about
even
literally everything.
Yeah, some people aren't even conscious of them even using people.
That's
like
true.
I think I think like working with a lot of people and being a part of like a leadership program is, you know, never giving up on people. And I've worked with people who have like committed things that they're not even supposed to be working at all for. And they're still a part of my life and they're still a part of my team because I still believe in them. I'm not going to give up on them because, you know, people do deserve second chances. Some people deserve more than a second chance.
Yeah.
But is there a breaking point between how many chances you can give?
It depends. I feel it depends on the person because clearly people have gone through many things and they're still together, and then people have gone through various scenarios and they've split up.
It also depends on like the severity of the situation, like depending on what it is.
Yeah, obviously, like fucking murder.
And when it becomes, you know, like you're all of a sudden disrespecting my family, that's when I'm like, yo, fuck you. You know?
So
That's a
there
huge
is a
thing for
breaking
me.
point.
Of course, there's a breaking point because obviously there's been things that relationships have been severed. Obviously.
But you know what? I can guarantee, maybe, almost guarantee that if he were to listen to this and he was like, you know what? Yeah, I actually did fuck up. Or if he listened to this, if I were him and I was listening to this and I was like, yeah, you know what? I did fuck up. And, you know, I was, you know, being disrespectful to our family or whatever. You know, I was a shitty person. And hopefully that person would grow from that. I think it's very hard to change people.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we're not being told what's wrong to change. Do you know what I mean?
Or what to change.
Or what to change. It's because some people, and I'm that type of person sometimes, where I'm like, bro, you should already fucking know.
Right, yeah. I can be like that too. I think that's fair for me to say.
And I think it's very difficult, especially when that situation happens, and at that time, it's very difficult for us to take a step back and actually read the situation and then deal with the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's all. Yeah, I agree with that. It's also like hard to dictate if the things you have done wrong can be like
You can make amends for it, though.
exactly.
Undone or fixed.
Yeah, because like you can constantly make mistakes and still like not grow from it.
What's a situation that you can't fix other than killing someone?
Like let's say you get like you said you get jealous because you see other guys talking to your girl. Is that easy to fix?
100%. Well, it's not easy, but it is something that can be fixed.
It's possible that can be fixed.
100%. I was cheated on and I was insecure, and now the last two people I've been with have always gone out with guys, and
it's
I
okay.
was chill. I'm.
But that's for you,
just
obviously, right? But other people, like Jericho, for example, he didn't like his girl going out a lot of times.
Yeah, but that was a long time ago.
So would it be different for you now?
You would think, but then you're not in the point where you have somebody
So the only way for us to find out, yo girls, Jericho Belmonte, he's ready to go. Let's give him a try.
What about this? I would like to say that I wouldn't care. With everything
at this point,
me.
yeah, obviously that's
At this point where I am in my life, I would confidently say I wouldn't care if she wanted to go out.
Yeah,
but you won't know until the situation.
There has been actually the last person that I was with. There was a situation where I was uncomfortable with
certain people,
with her interacting with her ex.
Right.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah, I would agree.
So it's really just like what you are okay with at the point.
Yeah, I like as long as I can, like as long as you can come up with, or not come up with, but as long as you, I don't know, if it's something that you strongly believe in, one, and then the second thing is that it like is it fair for both of us, and the third thing is that if this person really is that important in your life, like show me, you know what I mean? Like I was never introduced to this person, I was never a part of this person's circle, or like if I was dating you, Karr, and you and Jericho were dating before, and now all of a sudden you guys have ended the relationship, and like this is how you guys hang out, like with me a part of the picture, 100%. I don't give a fuck, you know what I mean? And you guys can still text and talk or whatever you guys want to do, but if I physically, like, I've never met this person, and I know that, and you show me some of these messages, or you tell me that this person still has intentions of being with you, I have a problem with that.
So it's basically you have to have a relationship with the other party.
Not necessarily, but if
an open dialogue about it.
Yeah, if
you're hiding it, it gives you reason. It fuels your insecurities.
Yeah,
if you're open with it. Like I've been in the same situation where I personally, for me, like. I just think about when I had to delete Karr on Snap. But for me, I don't hide my phone. I don't hide who talks to me. I don't hide what they mean to me when I'm with someone. I'm very open about that, and I think that's very important. If you're hiding just because I think you're gonna get mad at that they're even talking to me, I think that makes the situation 1,000 times worse. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was no hiding or anything like that, but the last interaction was more of like, I am still wanting to work things out with you, and I still like there's still intention behind there.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I was like, hey, like I'm kind of uncomfortable. Like you keep doing whatever you want to do. I'm just letting you know that I feel uncomfortable, and the way that you react can.
Wait, did this happen after the breakup or during?
It was during the relationship.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're saying that if I was dating, also Jericho, because you'll love that. Yes. If I was dating Jericho, and then Karr comes in, and we dated before.
Hypothetically.
100%. And he comes in saying, you know what, like I miss you, like I want to work on things.
Yeah, that's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
And you're still interacting.
And if you're saying that if me...
And the way that I positioned it too was like you can't talk to this person anymore. Like, hey, like I'm uncomfortable. If we switched roles, I would never put you in that position. Is how I kind of brought it up.
See, for me, if that ever happened to me personally, and I would be like, if I was dating Jericho and Karr, I'd be like, here, this is what my ex has said to me, and I'd be like, you know, like I 100% don't want this to happen, obviously, like, and I would tell them what my action was towards him. I'd be like, hey, like, I'm shutting him down, I'm saying, you know what, like, I'm with you, blah, 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 and I think that's, for me, like, if it was the role reversed, and if Jericho, like, said, hey, my ex is coming at me, I'd be like, like, obviously, I'd have my back up a little bit and be kind of whatever, but he assured me, he showed me, hey, like, I don't want this, I want you. I think that goes a long way, even just saying that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Fair.
Right.
I think it just goes to show that a relationship should be built on trust.
100%.
Like I think open communication and like even like the little things and little steps like that
trust.
And that's why I hate fucking social media in relationships. I think
is that obvious? Is that communication is key?
Yeah, 100%.
But then a lot of people just don't know how to communicate.
It's hard to say that you're uncomfortable. It's hard to say that you're jealous. It's hard to say that you're being petty, you know? Like, it's hard to look at, because that forces you to look at yourself and what your issues
people
are.
People don't like to be confronted.
Yeah.
So people are like non-confrontational most of the time.
Right.
I think most people don't like it is because, like what I said, they don't like to look at themselves. They try to place the blame or put the blame on other people. It's like,
100.
Right.
but if you're just honest and open, and which I've been slowly learning in life.
Is it difficult to be honest in a relationship? 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, Randall.
Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, I mean, for certain things.
So
There's
are you
the
allowed?
benefit of lying to people to protect them. Like, I think that's, like,
Yeah.
a huge thing that's in relationship. And then when it finally comes out, like, the other party gets really pissed off.
Right.
And they can't see that it was for their benefit. But even though, you know, it's... I think that's the...
Yeah, some people can't get past the lie.
Yeah, and not see the why
Even if-
behind
yeah.
the...
So is there just too much pressure to be 100% trustful and truthful then? It shouldn't be an expectation then. If you guys just said it's hard to be truthful.
Like,
Is that expectation just not great?
It's tough. Like, I think if you... Like, some of these expectations we create, and some of these expectations are here before us.
Yeah.
So that's what's tough about
So
it.
can we make a decision that you shouldn't want to expect that 100% truthful at the bat?
Well,
because
you're looking
you
for like the
understand-
perfect thing.
Well, you understand that you want...
What? I don't get the question.
Me either. I'm very lost.
No, because you just said that you don't... There's certain things you don't want to tell your partner, your new partner, for example. But then you want that from the other person. You want them to be
Honest.
truthful with everything and honest.
Yeah, but it's okay for if it's.
Yeah, but what situation?
Like, what's the
is
parameters?
okay? Yeah, what's okay?
Well, I don't.
Right? It shows that that's what I'm saying. That expectation shouldn't even be that.
I don't think that
High.
that should be like that shouldn't be an expectation at all. That like, yeah, it's okay for this person to lie to me, or this person needs to tell me the truth 100%
Or you
of the
should
time.
understand that there are things that you don't have to know. Right?
Yeah, like if there's something that I don't want to know, I'm not going to dig for it.
Right.
And you know, if that person is lying to protect me, then I mean, I think that would be okay. But it
Yeah.
comes to a certain point where it's
Well,
like, what do you mean as
yeah,
like, what do you
to
mean
protect,
like, what is
yeah.
protect? Like, you don't want to hurt me
Yeah.
because you slept with a guy or whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's you should come up with that.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, general public, it's just like they want people to be truthful and honest all at once, but then when it comes to it, they don't like it at all.
People can handle the truth.
I know.
As corny
I
as
was
it
just gonna
sounds.
say.
As corny
They
as it
can't-
sounds.
You want
yeah.
the truth?
That's why we're talking about it.
As long as you're
That's such a big expectation when it comes to a relationship, just to be
Mhm.
truthful and honest. But when it
I
comes
think
to
it should start at that. I would. I mean, yeah, here and there, I get it, but I would. For me, I would want from a partner someone to be open and honest, even though it may suck or whatever. It comes with honesty comes understanding, though. Those
Yeah.
goes hand in hand. If I want to be honest with you, I want to know that you're not going to blow up, even though it's not something that you should blow up with. Like for example, that ex texting you and saying, "Hey, I want to get back together with you." I want to be honest with you. I want to tell you like as soon as it happens.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's something that's important. If my mom texts me saying, "Hey, we're having whatever for dinner," like what, and I don't choose to tell you, like that's obviously 100% different.
I think it's okay if I had somebody come over and that was like a part of my life, and my mom maybe questioned the way that they had a tattoo on their face or whatever, or you know what I mean, or like some kind of, I don't know, because my mom is really important to me.
Yeah.
And if she was like, yeah, you know what, I don't think I'm really feeling your girl or whatever, like I wouldn't tell her that.
You wouldn't?
No,
I wouldn't tell them that either. No.
Yeah. Okay.
And if they
Because
ask, I'd be like,
that's
yeah,
okay.
she loves you. Let's never go there again.
I think
You're never.
that's-
No,
I think that's
it wouldn't be
private,
like
though.
that.
Like, that's
Obviously,
something
family's
that's-
a big deal, right?
I don't know.
It's different when it comes to family because sometimes you don't align your beliefs with your own family members.
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have to, just because you're into this person doesn't mean that your family is so. I mean, this is a hypothetical too, right? So I don't even want to ask a question.
Honestly, long story short, relationships are just really fucking fucked
Yeah, I mean, that's why we're
hard.
discussing it, right? Because
I know.
like obviously there's no. I mean, there are right answers. There's also like scenarios where like it's not clear.
Yeah, this is just for the. That's why I thought it would be interesting because a lot of the stuff that like we talk about as guys, you only get a male's perspective. You know what I mean? And having a female go onto the podcast and like give her kind of point of view, I think is important for other guys.
Well, it's also because like not a lot of guys do talk about relationships like that either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because how many guys?
Yeah.
How many of your boys can you talk about relationships and shit?
Jericho.
Right?
And like, yeah, well, you know, like a lot of everything with me too. But I mean, I think that again, having a female perspective is important. And like I have, you know, my sister and everything too, where she has always also has been surrounded by males.
Yeah.
And so she thinks like the boys. So
She thinks like the guys.
yeah.
But I think that's also a misconception as well. As being a female, there's very few female friends of mine that I would feel actually comfortable relaying or talking to about. You know,
what do you think that is?
I don't even know you, and I was fucking like, I don't even want to do this, but I mean, I'm here now, I guess so. Like, I thought about it, and I was like, yeah, you know, it would be interesting, and then, yeah, like, it was just...
Yeah.
I was
But the thing
scared.
with me is that I think I'm a little bit different as well, is that I kind of have, like, a male mentality to me as well. Is that I'm able and capable to see things from, well, I'm not saying 100%, but, like, I kind of have that as well to me. Jericho, would you say that's fair?
Get open mind. That's why I don't
Well,
want to say...
a lot of guys aren't open-minded.
No, but I'm just saying I have that. I can see and I can, like, I think the way that a male can sometimes. Like, I'm like, you know, I don't know how to describe it, but, like, you know, like, some of my friends, like, that are female and they're like, oh, man, ain't shit. I'm like, well, like, let's calm down here and let's talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I can offer that different or unbiased opinion to things. Because sometimes women are the fucking worst to talk about relationships with, because they just go off and they think only about themselves and only their needs, and they're very like me, which I can sympathize with men with for, that they have to deal and cater to the woman, which I don't think is right.
I feel like I'm kind of like that.
But then this is the reason.
But that's like, generally speaking, like, that's how, like, the world is. It's the women, like, we're queen.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, you bow down to me. And I'm a very 50-50 kind of relationship gal.
This is
And, like, it's not always 50-50. Sorry, I gotta continue. Some days your partner is gonna be really down in the dumps and you have to lift them up and you have to carry the weight. It's how it is. And then it gets swapped.
Love ain't always 50.
But see, you're still going back into that, you were carrying that responsibility, which I don't think is right.
It's not that I'm taking responsibilities, that sometimes it's just they need a little extra. And that's fair and that's fine, because everyone has had, it just goes to simply just having a bad day. It's me, if I had a great day, and if I was dating, let's say, Karr, and he was okay, and I was having the most amazing day, and he was having an absolute piece of shit day, I wouldn't go and say, okay, now listen to my great day. I wouldn't even really mention my day, because I know that would just make him feel worse or shitty. Like, you know, it's me taking back and taking consideration of him, and, you know, like, it's not always 50-50, and that's what pisses me off about relationships. This is just my belief, obviously, is that it can't be split down the middle all the time. Eventually, over time, it gets evened out. It shouldn't be always way to one end or the other, but
it's debatable.
and that's fine.
Well,
we have a difference. That's fine.
Yeah, that's the point, because
But why do you think it's debatable?
it's debatable. Jericho, I don't know what you're trying to start. It's debatable, because these are fucking people who think about things, okay? This is why it's debatable. People have their own thoughts. It shouldn't be 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
And life's not fair. That's as simple as that. Life is not fair. So relationships can't be fair. Relationships cannot be split down.
The whole
half
point
and
is
half.
that you have to work things out, that you're still together at the end.
Mm-hmm.
That's why
Because love conquers all.
But see, I still don't agree with you. I feel like
That's
you're still
fair.
putting that 50-50 responsibility on, like, I'm not even going to reference each other anymore. Like, hey, you know, like...
I don't want to play scenarios anymore.
Yeah, like...
I'm not good at that.
It's not about that I'm not good at it.
Like,
It's
hey,
like,
you
I
know-
don't know what you want me to say.
No. I don't... No, like, just be you. I'm not looking for there's no right or wrong answer.
The reason I stopped this is because I don't think it's going anywhere. That's why I stopped him. Like,
Okay,
what
so
do
we won't reference anymore. Continue.
That's why I'm like, I don't know what you want from me.
No, I'm just saying that if like, so now I'm fucking lost. Good job.
He just
man.
wants to role play.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I want
that's
you
why
to
I
be-
shut it down right away because like I don't know
to be
what
my
you want from me.
Zaddy.
This is not gonna work out. This is gonna be going on forever, and I don't think that's great for everybody. So go ahead.
No, I fucking forgot it. So.
Okay, so are
Good
you
job.
saying though, like in my situation, if I was having
Oh, word. That's where I'm coming back to. Yeah.
Okay, oh back to okay.
I got it.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that if like my girl's like, yeah, like I feel like shit today. Like I'm not gonna like it's not gonna be my responsibility. I'm not gonna make it my responsibility to make her happy.
I'm not saying that you are, but you're choosing to withhold your awesome day to make it a less shitty for her. It's
Okay,
not
but
saying that
what
you're...
if withholding that awesome
It's not saying
day-
that she's gonna, like, you withholding that's not gonna make her feel shitty. It's just gonna make...
Bro,
you're
if I
choosing
was like in a corner like crying and shit, and I was like, yo, like I just lost my job and like my left toe got cut off. And you came home and I'm like, yo, listen,
Let me tell you about my day.
I got a fucking promotion and I'm fucking living it right now. And I'd be like, yo, that's sick. Like I don't think I would be like, you're being fucking insensitive right now. I don't.
But
think
that's
that
the
would be
thing.
good.
People get into this mental state is that when they're emotional, they can't think rationally. And that's what I'm saying. You're taking out the... personally, for me, is that you're taking out the... Right now, you're not in that situation. You're not in that mentality, so you can't think that way. Think back on a time when you were hysterical, you couldn't even think straight or whatever. That's what happens sometimes. I'm not saying it happens to everyone to extreme severities, but it
No,
happens.
I'm like that all the time. I deal with anxiety and depression. Trust me, I'm very like.
But you know what I mean? Like,
I know what you mean.
Like, it's hard because, like, things obviously aren't gonna go to that extreme where you're like, yeah, I got fired, my toe cut off, you know what I mean? But it's just...
I know that was an example.
It comes back to being respectful of that person. And, you know, for me, if someone was to go on and on and on about their day, and yeah, I would 100% be happy for them, and be all for it. But at the end of the day, it kind of gives you an off feeling. For me, it gives me an off feeling. It's
Well, yeah, no, I wouldn't, like, I don't think any of us would be like, hey, yo, Karr, man, you know, whatever happened to you, man, that sucks, but listen to what I got, bro.
Okay, well, that has happened to me.
But that's such a crazy scenario because it really, like, how much do you care about your personal, like
First of all, like, again, that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
it
That I don't
really
think any of
doesn't
us would
matter.
do that. I don't think any of us would do that.
See, that's a crazy fucking scenario then, because like I don't think like even though I had
She brought it up, man. I'm just addressing the scenario.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like
That's fair. Talk
but
about
this is such a crazy scenario. It's not crazy, but it's like.
Do you guys want to hear me suck on
What's-
Karr's balls on the podcast?
But then
Yes.
what's? It's not that. Okay, anyway, whatever. I don't even want to say it anymore. Go ahead.
But it brings it back to give and take in relationship. And that's why I'm saying it's not
But
always
is it?
50-50.
Should you really think about give and take?
No.
It really doesn't matter.
But
at
I'm
that
saying,
point,
like, he
right?
said everything he disagrees with me was saying the 50-50 thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm trying to give a scenario where it isn't 50-50. Sometimes you have to take on their extra emotional shit. Sometimes you have to, lift them up a little bit. And I think that's fair.
No, that's okay. Like being a part of that and like saying like, hey,
And
like
that's
don't
why-
worry, like comforting and like doing all that
Mhm.
stuff. But then when like the other person is expecting you to do that, like, and okay, first of all, it is going to be expected no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm with someone and that person's feeling like shit, like, and I come home and you know they're in bed crying, they're gonna expect me to be like, hey, what's wrong? Don't worry, everything will be okay. Like that's fine. But if they're expecting for me to be like this motherfucker's got to fix it, I think that's not.
No, I'm not saying they have to fix it. That's not where I was going with it at all.
Oh, word. Okay.
Okay.
Then I agree with you.
Okay, so there is a little...
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they have to fix it. I'm just saying they have to be there for the person. And that's why I'm saying
Yeah,
it's not 50-50.
no, being there doesn't mean you have to. You just want to like listen or you
Comfort.
wanna
Yeah, I
understand.
got you. I got
That
you.
doesn't mean
Yeah,
that,
that's okay.
That's why I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what
It's
are
like
you
you're
doing?
not.
Yeah.
I don't
Sorry
think you
about
should
that.
go into scenarios like. You said this before, Randall. You said you don't. I don't think you should be in a scenario where like you have to fix things for me
No.
or help me fix it.
Yeah. Like,
You should just be there for me.
yeah, don't
no
like
matter what.
don't solve like you can't
all
solve the
the
issue or
answers.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is something you
But, like-
obviously have to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's it's a lot, man.
That's a lot because you said that was your kind of like I guess insecurities, right? Because you wanted people or you wanted someone to help you figure it out with you instead of just being there and helping you find out how to fix it, right?
Yeah, no, I
wanted
was
the answers right away.
like expecting them to make me happy. Like, yo, I feel like shit. Like,
Right.
make me fucking happy. And the other person's like, hey, like, you feel like shit. I'm really happy right now, but because you feel like shit, I'm gonna feel like shit too.
Yeah, I
that's
kinda knew that's where he was.
Like
going.
Okay.
when emotions kind of match each other, that's when shit like is like, yo, let me feel like shit. You know what I mean? And you know, I've done it before too, where like, yo, like she feels like she's having a bad day, she's crying and shit. Well, guess I'm gonna cry too. But like, you know what I mean? Like,
Which shouldn't be the way.
which shouldn't be. But like, I think that we invest in each other emotionally, and we get emotionally attached. That we start mirroring each other when it comes to the point. Okay, like, yeah, that person's having a bad day. Like, I'm gonna have a bad day too, and that's what like fucked. That's why fucks everything.
I hate that. I really do. I agree with you 110% on
But
that.
see, it's not even like conscious to us sometimes.
No, 100%.
It
Like,
shouldn't be, because that's how...
See, that's why.
but do you know what really sucks is when you aren't mirroring them, and if you are the one who's having a shit day, and I'm the one being happy as hell, they take it against you, and then that's when a fight arises. And
Yeah, that's called.
I've never been in that. Yeah,
I
I've
have
never
been in that situation
Yeah.
time and time again. Oh my goodness, and it
Why can't you
pisses
cry with me?
and it pisses me off.
Can you just cry with me?
And another thing is I don't know if you guys experience this as well. I'm just having an off day and I'm just quiet, and it's not necessarily I'm mad or sad. I'm just kind of there.
Don't say let me have an off day and let me be quiet and let me do my own thing.
No, and okay, but the thing is when they keep asking what's wrong, and then they get mad at you when you just say.
I'm like, you went to this exact scenario.
Fuck, that's women, man.
I don't know if this is just
that's
I
me
feel like
too.
this is more of a woman thing, to be quite honest. And like I've had days where I'm just like feeling
No, you
I'm
can't label a gender.
I'm a very shut up. I'm a very daydreamy kind of person from time to time. Like I'm just in my head. I'm not necessarily super
Well, it's that
sad.
time of the month.
Fuck you.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Well, I don't really get my period anymore, but that's beside the point.
You pregnant?
No.
Or what you do?
No.
Go ahead, sorry.
Anyways, but
Yeah, let you go do your own thing, right?
yeah, and I'm just like, you know, like I'm just like there. I feel like I'm just there. I'm not necessarily super high. I'm not super low. I'm just kind of like in my head a lot, and they keep asking you what's wrong, and there's nothing wrong, but they won't accept that answer, and I don't.
Well, you know what's harder? When that person expects that from you, and then when you want that same thing, and then that person is like, no, can you just tell me what's wrong? Like, what the fuck is wrong? And then all of a sudden, their attitude is bad. Like,
Are you saying like I'm like okay, I'm
yeah, like you're doing your thing, and I'm like
You're happy and you're like, what's wrong, and then it flips?
Yeah, and then,
Okay.
yeah, like
Yeah.
that fucking happens too.
No.
You've never done that, where, like he's just like, no, like, I'm just having one of those days, and you're like, alright, well, see you later, and, like, you kind of go do your own thing?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you like, come on, like, I know there's something wrong. Come on, just tell me. Like, what's wrong? Like, I'm there for you. Like, let me be there for you.
I've done both. I say earlier me has done the, okay, tell me what's wrong, and
Yeah.
then kind of berate them, but lately I just been, okay, I accept that answer.
But does it do anything to your mood when you came home and he was just like, yeah, like, I feel like shit?
I mean, I can't say it doesn't affect me at all, but
It does something to your day.
a little bit something to your day, but I care about them, you know, and it's just a genuine concern. I'm not gonna be like, okay, like fuck, like they're pissed, they're mad, they're whatever. I can have a good day. I'm gonna have it at maybe a little extra thought behind, like in the background, but I'm not gonna say it's gonna completely ruin my mood. But if you care for that person, their mood should in some way affect. I'm not saying affect yours, but their mood should be in the back of your head to some degree.
Yeah.
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 Right?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Because if you don't,
But-
then it's, I don't know.
But, so, what? Okay, so then what does that look like, though? Like, okay, so you come home and fucking you guys like, yeah, I feel like shit, and you're just like, okay, so like, yeah, let's talk about it. Like, what's wrong? Is like, I just don't want to talk about it. And then what do you do?
Okay, but that's different than what we're really talking about. I'm just saying there isn't anything wrong, but if he's, like...
Okay, so you come home and you notice that there's something wrong, and he's like, no, nothing's wrong, like, I'm just chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just like, not himself.
Wait.
I would make a point to say, you know what, like, I hope you feel comfortable talking to me. If there is something wrong, tell me. But if not, then that's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah, then that's fine.
Well, I don't think we should work out scenarios because we don't really know true answers, right?
I'm a scenario guy, man. I like doing these little role plays.
Okay, you're way more interesting to talk to than Karr and Jericho on this thing.
Like, I just...
Ouch.
Oh, what have you guys
Welcome
said?
to the Guinto Bros podcast.
I'm trying to say stuff,
I'm a Guinto Bros.
but I keep getting interrupted.
Yeah, but the whole point is, like, why even bring up the scenarios when it's not really true to
Okay,
life?
the thing I like about Randall is that he actually forces you to think about things. I like it.
But what's the point? What are you going to get out of it? This is not going to be real life.
Well,
It can be.
What do you mean it can be?
But
Are
in a
you really
relationship,
saying- are you...
in a relationship,
Wait,
it actually has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you guys are coming up with new scenarios all the time.
No, we're
No,
not.
we're not. This has happened. To
But
me.
what's the point of saying it now when you know it's not going to be the same way when it actually happens?
Because
It forces you
dated
to look at yourself.
handful
For
of
me.
women, and it has happened all the time.
So you're saying whatever you're working out right now with scenarios is going to work next time it happens?
No, I just want to know. Yeah, it could. It could.
Possibly, yeah.
I don't think that's fucking going to happen.
Why not?
Because it's a totally different scenario. Because
And people are different, and I
this is
understand that.
this is not, scenarios aren't real life. Like if I shoot
Okay,
a ball,
so here, this is a real life scenario where I came home, and
yeah, but you're knowing this from hearsay and what happened before. You're not coming up with this new answer, right? This is what you're doing right now.
no, but
So
that's
you're
why we
saying
have
that-
her. This is why we have her, because I want her perspective.
But then we're coming up with scenarios that aren't 100% like gonna happen. This is just like what you're thinking right now in a situation.
Hey, you
where
know
you're
what?
not
The next
in.
person that I'm with might not fucking feel
Then,
like shit.
then
and
you're
might not
saying,
care.
like, what's the whole point of having a conversation at all?
No, that's not what I'm saying. But why are you bringing the scenario? This is just most of the things I'm asking is that your previous expectations or what you previously encountered. We're not building up like new things that are how you solve things. We're just talking about past things or scenarios. But what you guys are doing is creating scenarios where
I
How would
think
you-
I
not
think you
even
solved a lot
logical.
of my problems.
huh?
I think she solved a lot of my problems.
She solved a lot of your
Well,
problems.
she didn't solve a lot. She maybe could have
How are
solved.
you gonna say
Okay,
that?
no. Okay, this
When
is
it's
okay.
not
The
happening
whole
to
point
you.
of having scenarios. So let's just say we're talking about what we're talking about.
These
We're
are all
playing-
hypothetical. That's not gonna
Exactly. Shh,
happen.
listen.
It's like me. Okay, let me say this.
No!
It's like me shooting a ball and I miss, but then in a different scenario, I'm gonna shoot it and get it in. What's the point? It's
We
either
talk
gonna
about
go
what
in
you
or
did
out.
differently from when you missed to when you actually got it in.
It's
Yeah.
either it's gonna go in or not.
Roleplay
No,
is
it's not
really
because
good.
okay. If we're talking hockey analogy, because that's what I understand. So if you miss,
Practice
I'm
makes perfect.
gonna say where were your hands? Where were you pointing? Blah 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 blah. And then
Yeah.
that's what the whole point we're
Is
talking
this
about.
hands or is this? It's a little fucking different,
God
Taylor.
damn it, Karr, you're pissing
It's a
me
little
off.
fucking different. That's why I don't even like these fucking scenarios because it's not even true to
Okay,
life.
fine then. Go on how
Because
you want the podcast to
There's
go.
a no.
Continue. No,
Taylor,
continue.
no. This is a real.
Karr, continue.
This is
How do
real-
you want this to go?
I think these are real life scenarios.
I think
I-
this is great.
I think
No,
this is
I don't think
awesome.
these are because are you guys really gonna take these and build on it next time?
Yeah, because if someone who's listening, or if I am
could
in this
save them.
situation, if I'm in a new relationship and this scenario that we are talking through goes
Because
through,
it happened to me a handful of times. Has it happened to you?
exactly.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be like, oh yeah, Taylor said this. I'm gonna do this now.
No, it makes you think and actually try and put yourself into their shoes,
Yeah.
and you can maybe
It's another
resolve it
perspective.
differently.
But what's the fucking point?
I'm
Oh
feeling
my-
a lot of sexual tension between you two.
No, I'm saying like, what's the point of giving up this scenario where it's not really gonna happen?
Are you guys gonna bang after
We
this?
already
100%.
We already established
I'm
that.
scared.
I'm done. I want to tape it.
Okay,
Beyond-
whatever.
Never mind. I'm not even.
Okay.
Hey, go
Well, I
ahead.
just wanted
Just
to
go
say-
ahead. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say that that's why it's important to keep individuality.
What do you mean?
No, like, I don't know. Like to me, like coming together in a relationship and losing you as a person, your individuality, I think that's what causes shit to break down.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree. True.
But is that the only thing? I
No.
know.
No, I'm just saying this is one thing.
And you know what I think too? Is that one scenario that we were talking about that is a very true thing.
About the whole like mood thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a real thing.
I
That's
understand.
probably the most realist thing out there.
Yeah, but I understand.
Okay,
Hey, Karr, I've been
Wait,
doing this for
wait,
years. You don't
wait.
know.
See, that's the problem, Taylor. You're saying because you were in a relationship, you know all the answers.
No, I'm just bugging you, Karr. Relax.
Okay, well, when are you telling a joke or not? Because this...
I just told you that I'm making a joke.
I'm trying to have a discussion, you're saying it was a joke. So how am I supposed to build on that, Taylor? No, Randall. Taylor, how am I supposed to build on that when you're going to say it's a joke?
Fuck.
You just said earlier you wanted a discussion. And I'm creating one and you said it was a joke.
Baby,
I don't even know what you said at the beginning. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Okay. You said... Okay, never mind.
No, continue. I want
No,
to... Let's talk it out, Karr.
You said it was a fucking joke, right? And I'm saying, like, you just said earlier, we're trying to have a discussion about scenarios. And I'm trying to give my input, and you just said it was a joke.
So how
am I supposed to give my input?
No, I'm not saying because I was
This
in a
is why you
relationship.
don't get into a relationship, guys.
No. Okay, I'm not saying because I was in a relationship recently that's why I have the answers. I'm just saying that maybe you've been taking out of relationships that you kind of forget, or maybe forget like these little scenarios that maybe Randall and I can relate to a little bit better.
And maybe in the next relationship, I would react differently.
Yeah.
Maybe if I ever get into it.
And this could help you too, Karr, because the next relationship you get into, maybe
DB.
you'll think about it. Maybe you'll think about this and be like, oh shit, now I understand. Now I understand.
You know what? They talked about this one time, and this is how they reacted. You know what? I'm
okay, I think I know where Karr's coming from, though.
It's just hypothetical at
It's
this point.
just, you guys know, like, in X-Men, like, there's, like, a danger room.
There's a danger room where you work out scenarios where you're fucking fighting the Sentinels.
But
right?
it never is...
It never works out.
No, it never is anything compared to the real thing.
Wow, that was just so sexy to hear about X-Men. Wow.
Yeah, we love fucking...
Yeah, we're nerds.
We're big nerds, by the way. Randall's a big nerd, but he just doesn't want to say it right now.
I'm a big nerd. I play video games all the time.
Okay, but I think that's what Karr's getting into. He just doesn't like all this hypothetical bullshit.
Because you guys are...
But it's not hypothetical. These are situations that we've literally been in.
Happened.
Yeah, but you guys are coming up with answers
Yeah, but the
that you
solutions to those...
Yes.
Because I'm curious to know what he has to say, because he's from the male
perspective,
and I'm the female perspective.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all. Secondly, I think perspective is perspective. That's it. There's no right or wrong. Female. No, there's no male and female. You can have different perspectives.
Don't give me that bullshit, because I don't believe in that.
So you have to believe in that.
Do you think that this podcast would have been different or the same if Taylor wasn't on it?
It doesn't matter. Because
okay, Randall, you can't even... See, this is the scenario I'm talking about. You're saying because Taylor's not here, it would be different. No fucking shit, Randall. Of course it would be fucking different.
Yeah, but not...
Oh, shit.
Taylor...
I'm drifting on myself.
This is the fucking scenario.
Taylor's perspective is not exclusive to a woman's perspective.
No, it's not.
Is what I'm trying to say.
But
She's not a woman?
I am a woman, but I'm a...
Fucking Randall.
I don't even know anymore.
I'm basically a celebrity to these two anyways.
This is what happens when Randall is sober.
I need to get drunk, but I can't.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, go ahead, Jericho.
I think you guys are getting a little too angry at these scenarios.
You know, this is the most heated podcast.
It's not about being angry. There's been angrier podcasts. Trust me. We fucking recorded it. Me and my brother went at it like so many times.
For what?
About fucking Marvel and basketball.
Okay, that's nothing though. That's not an argument.
Are you serious? Okay, never mind. We don't even want to argue. I don't even want to argue.
We've been arguing all night, Karr.
It's okay. But I know where Karr's coming together.
The cutest.
I know where Karr's coming from.
I understand what Karr's trying to say too.
No.
But at the same time, you don't understand what Karr's trying to say?
No, I do.
Oh.
Yeah, I understand what you're trying to say.
Thank you.
But do you understand what we're trying to say?
I understand what you're trying to say. Just like...
Are you putting yourself in our shoes, Karr?
Oh, no, I'm not in a relationship before. And apparently gets all the answers for single people.
Well, we're all single here, so.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I'm trying to defer from not doing scenarios because...
But you know what?
But we've had experiences in relationships.
I know. There's experiences and then there's answers.
There is no answer. There is no answer. That's the point.
Yeah, but you're coming up with scenarios.
It's just discussion.
I'm not coming up with anything. It did happen. It is a true story.
I understand it's a true story, Randall. It's just that... What's the point?
Do you not like this conversation anymore?
No, it's not. I like this conversation.
The tape is still rolling.
Go ahead, go ahead.
The tape is still rolling, Karr.
Go ahead, Randall.
People are still listening to us.
I think we lost them all. We lost them all.
Are you guys still there? Hello, Tita.
Okay, any more on this fucking thing?
No.
Randall, what else do you want to point out with fucking...
No, that was...
Taylor said.
I don't know anymore. I'm scared.
We made.
I'm scared to ask
so
a
many
question
different
because it might come up to being a scenario.
And Karr might get offended
It's not I'm getting offended, just like, what's the point?
or heated.
I
Well,
think-
that's your problem. You can't see a point.
Yeah.
Well, Jericho, tell me what the point of their scenarios are.
I think just trying to create like a way for people, like a flowchart for people.
A flowchart?
It's not even a flowchart. It's just literally discussion. It's not saying
we're
that
just
it's coming to
talking.
an answer. It's literally just discussing
I'm just
it
talking to
and
her.
talking about it. We're talking it out.
Yeah, and I
a
let you guys
flowchart
talk
can
about
exist
it,
without
so-
a result. Just
okay.
saying.
Exactly. It's a never-ending flowchart.
Yeah, so it's still a flowchart.
Yeah, but if I kept you guys from keep going, where are you guys going to lead up to?
We could talk
That's-
about it probably
That's what
forever.
I'm saying.
I have a very heavy
Then what's
flow.
the point? There's no end to these scenarios. That's
No,
why.
there isn't.
That's why I want to end. Can you understand from my point why?
There is
I
an
understand
end.
there's
We were
no
coming
end.
to an end to the scenario. We were just talking about what happened and then how I reacted.
Okay. Thank you, Randall. Any more, Randall? If you want to point out with your homie fucking Taylor over here.
I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know anymore. I don't even know what to ask you anymore.
I don't even know either.
I'm scared to ask you a question.
Karr's gonna get offended and get riled
Are you
up.
really going to continue me being offended?
She's memeing you.
I'm memeing you.
I'm not being offended. It's just like it's just not.
Karr-
Okay, let's talk about the things that I wanted to talk about to you, but we had to save it for the podcast.
Go for
apparently
it, Taylor. Please
because
tell
apparently
me.
we are not able to talk unless it's on the podcast.
Tell me, Taylor.
Which makes me salty.
What
Tell
do
me
you want?
about
What do you
these
want?
issues you have.
You
McDonald's French fries for salty.
Oh my god. No, they're your issues, but we tried to talk about it.
Okay, go for it. What do you have to say?
Well, talk about your issues. Bring up your topic.
You want me to bring it?
Yeah, because you're like, no, we can't talk about it because we can only talk on our
I don't even know what you guys mean, so explain.
I know. She's brought it up. I just wanted to go somewhere else, but she.
Okay,
What
fine.
do you have?
go
What do you
ahead.
have?
Or talk about your addictions.
My what?
Oh.
My addictions?
Yeah.
Your strange addiction.
Okay, we should probably... Is it an addiction?
I feel like it's false. I feel like it's just something that you are classifying as an addiction, but it's really not.
Hentai?
No. No. It's sex.
I'm just
or-
happy that Taylor knows what hentai is.
She's okay. Anyway,
Just with that.
it's not even Well, it's kind of addiction actually. It's porn or sex. Okay.
Oh, that's different, man.
Porn's porn. Everyone
Porn's
watches
porn.
porn.
Yeah, but it's also sex, right?
But you're
Yeah,
not actually doing the
are you
act.
talking about the act?
You have to split the two.
Or watching.
Okay, so let's discuss what's the difference.
Between porn and sex?
So
You're
what's
actually
what's
involved?
considered bad for you or addiction?
Nothing, as long as you're not killing people to get...
That's why I'm saying it's not. It's kind of not an addiction.
Well, if it's
If it's
overly
disrupting your
obsessive,
life, yeah.
or if you're
Does it
obsessive,
get in the way of work?
Nope.
Does it get in the way of your goals?
Nope.
Then it's not an
Friendships,
addiction.
relationships.
Wait, is
Friendship.
addiction? Is that what addiction is? I don't think that's what addiction means. Because if
Yeah,
I'm
but
addicted to,
it has
That's
what if
I
I'm
came up
with.
addicted
Chance
to
to
helping
be.
people and helping myself? That's
Oh.
then it's doing good.
Okay, like if you chose,
So is that an
okay,
addiction?
let's go to the porn topic. If you were to say, you know what, like I really have to get
It's
things
tough.
done. I really have to get things done. I'm not gonna watch porn tonight. Well, are you able to do that?
Yeah,
Okay, then you're not addicted.
I know.
Okay, then why do you call
Why
it
do you call
addiction?
it an addiction?
What do you mean?
Okay, so let's bring
in
up
the
a scenario.
conversation
I'm
before,
just kidding.
I told you. Oh my god! I said it was sex or alcohol.
No, you said women and alcohol.
Women and alcohol. Okay. So I didn't think I had an addiction, but you said.
I never said it. You're the one who said it.
I said I had these issues where I'm like, when I see chicks, I want to fuck them. That's, I don't know, what do you can...
When I
That's
see
normal.
men, I want to fuck them too. It doesn't mean I'm
So that's
addicted
there's
to
no
them.
problem
It's
then.
normal.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're the one who classify as addiction. I'm just saying if you act upon it like all the time and you can't control
But
yourself.
I'm saying
it.
from a different point of view, people...
Do you think that's what's stopping you from getting into a
No,
relationship?
Okay,
Yes, Randall, let's go.
like porn and things?
No, like wanting to fuck other women. Like, is that gonna be an issue that you can't stay committed?
I think that's what people see about me.
So
I
what
don't
do
think
you? Oh, you.
No, we're not asking what other people see of you. We're saying
Yeah.
what you think of you.
Yeah, but does it really matter what I think? When
Yes, it
people
does,
don't want to
obviously.
commit to me
I
for
maybe
these
want to commit
issues?
to you.
I just
That's
said...
the answer in the podcast. Answer.
When people view me of me having don't want to be committed, should I change? How do I change their mind?
Tell them. Say. How do you
I'm asking you guys. How do I change people's mind that they see that about me?
I genuinely want to hear your opinion of your own self on this topic.
I just said that people see me that way.
Okay, but that's talking about other people. How do you...
Yeah, he wants you to answer
for yourself.
Do you think you're like this?
That people see that.
So let's just say theoretically in a relationship with someone. Do you think that you wanting to fuck other women, if you see a really hot chick or whatever, is that going to get in the way of you and that person that you're in a relationship with?
No, but does that matter?
It depends on how you act about it.
If I don't do anything, then what does it matter?
If you keep it in your head, then no, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter what I think when people think that about me.
But you're saying you wouldn't act on that then?
No.
Okay, there you go. You answered the question. Congrats.
So what's the point?
Wait. Now you're trying to ask is like, how do I change other women's perspective on?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking all you. How would I change that?
To be like, yo, I ain't gonna cheat on you.
You're just gonna say you can't cheat?
Straight up. Straight up, be like, yo. I mean, test the ride.
Yeah, test the ride. Let's see what happens. I'm not gonna cheat on you.
Taylor, how do I change that? If people see that about me.
I honestly think it's a really hard thing to change.
That's what I'm saying.
I think I think if you invest enough time,
but I think you are at your own.
I have the solution. I
understand that, but what is my fault?
You put your own opinions and say, yeah, I look at women, I want to fuck them. Women don't really necessarily want to hear that.
What is that?
And vice versa. Like, if I'm saying, oh yeah, I want to fuck all these dudes, like, hot, bangable.
Right.
That's going to put a certain... everyone has opinions on you, and what happens, like, you know, if I say that, you're going to have a certain opinion on me, but if I say reserved, I don't say those things out loud or on social media,
right.
You're not going to have those opinions of me. But if you're openly saying this, then it kind of puts... You're kind of forcing that opinion on people to say about you.
So, for my actual real solution or situation,
the solution. What is the solution?
What's the solution then?
Just stop doing that and stop taking.
So stop posting. Stop.
I'm not saying posting at all. But
I think the best part of the solution is if you want to be in a relationship with someone. Before you even get into that relationship, and if that's the perspective that they have on you, you have to start building. You have to start building that trusting relationship and show them that.
Right.
Yeah, that person is.
Yeah.
Well, what if they always call you out and be like?
Well, how would they call you out if they call you out and they're like, yeah.
Like,
so you want to fuck someone tonight or what?
For example, did you send this to other people?
Fuck you, Karr.
What do you say about that?
Well, did you send it to other people? Like, did you send?
What if I did?
I'm assuming it's a nudie. Is it a nudie?
It's not a nudie. It's just anything in general.
Then
Karr's trying to call me out right now.
Yeah, I'm calling you out. What's up, buddy? We have Johnny right here. It's my guy.
Yo, what's up, man? Randall.
My friend John. Everybody, he's on the podcast. But, just chill for a minute. Anyway, go ahead.
I think if you both have a thing for each other, and if you guys both invest enough time into learning who each other really are, and you guys do have that trusting relationship, then I don't think that would stop you from getting into any relationship. But that's on you. If you're not willing to invest your time into learning that person, and that person's not investing enough time to learn more about you, and then it's not worth, bro.
Right.
Was that bad or good?
No, I agree.
So what if you just don't care what, you're just talking to somebody and then they ask you those questions, who you send it to, but then you don't even give a shit, if they send things to you personally or they send to other people. For me, I don't give a shit what other people, as long as you have a relationship with me, I don't give a shit about your other relationships.
See, I think that's a really toxic trait.
That I don't give a shit?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I don't get it. Explain it to me.
Because he's saying that if I'm invested in you, I don't care if you are talking or sending other things to other people.
Right.
When in reality, if I'm in a relationship or trying to establish something with you, everyone cares to a certain level. You shouldn't give a shit at all.
You wouldn't care if she
was
sent
sending other people
nudies?
Not even nudies. I don't give a shit. You're talking to me. We have our own relationship. It doesn't matter.
See, that would bug me.
Why would that bug you?
So would it be if let's Okay, I'm going into a scenario.
No, just keep going.
Make it a scenario.
If you were with someone and they were like, Karr, like, that does make me feel uncomfortable.
But so,
How do you react?
that what? That I did.
Like, you're sending...
Okay, hold on. Okay, so the whole thing with Karr calling me out was what he would send me photos all the time, just himself, whatever. I'm like, okay, like, fuck off, you're sending these to everyone.
Yeah.
For me, if he legit wants to establish something with me, if that was his intention, it's like...
Don't send your nudies anywhere else but me.
It's not nudies,
Okay.
Jesus.
It's not even nudies, it's just anything.
Okay.
Anything. I would want him to give a shit and give a shit about what I think of him. Because if
Which
someone
I
said it
do.
to me, I'd be like, oh shit, you actually think that of me? Like, oh fuck, like I'm trying
But
to be
she
in a
just
relationship
question
with
it
you.
every time I do it. Like, why? What's the point? You just to bug me?
Sometimes it is just to bug you.
No,
I'm gonna lie.
I think
I personally don't care if you.
No, but if you are actually wanting to establish something, you're saying, yes, I want to be with you or want to start something with someone.
Right.
Are
You
you
don't want to
guys
feel
gonna
like you're sent, like, you don't want it to be like, you actually want to feel like they actually care about your opinion.
Right. I do care about your opinion.
Do you, Karr?
See, this is exactly where I'm going. Do you, Karr?
Well,
Okay,
because-
so
What
then
the fuck?
So then, if you know that it bugs her,
What, sending her pictures?
by sending everyone these whatever the fuck you're sending.
But what if I don't? And
Because
she
you
questions
have told me you've done this before.
before.
Well, now it's time for you to start building that trusting relationship.
But for my case, it's like I don't give a shit if you send this to other people.
See, but
We
you
have
should
our
give a
own-
shit.
Why? Because I just care about.
Because then
our
you're contradicting
relationship.
yourself. You're literally contradicting yourself.
Yeah, but we don't have to be the same person.
But you're contradicting what you're saying.
You can question everything I do, but I don't give a shit what you do because I think our relationship is unique and it doesn't really matter what you do with anybody else.
Okay, let me tell you what Karr's trying to do, okay?
Because Karr's really confusing me right now. It's making my
Okay.
head hurt.
It's not confusing because
Karr
I'm just-
is trying to look for a love that conquers all. Am I wrong?
Yes, Jericho, you're correct. There you go.
Motherfucker.
Okay.
So. are
Okay,
you
let's
guys
establish that. I don't have a
into
fucking addiction,
relationship?
okay? What?
Yeah, that's where it... Holy fuck, yeah, that's where it was.
I don't have addiction. I just like porn, girls, and alcohol. And I can
Seems like
control
addiction to
everything.
And Guinto, those are normal things.
Yeah.
But if you're like, maybe if you're like at work and then you're like watching porn and like maybe that's, and you know, it's cutting out of your like your productiveness.
Yeah,
That could be an addiction. Does it cut down your productive?
it doesn't.
Okay, then it's not addiction. You shouldn't have classified it as that.
But
Yeah.
Okay, wait, let me introduce my...
Fake news!
Let's introduce my buddy, John. He's here.
What's up?
He's very hoey on Instagram.
No.
He's very cold.
I'm a child of God.
Yeah, you changed, bro.
Bro, I am.
bro, I heard you fuck, dog.
Child of God.
Oh, he's a virgin.
Gotta
Yeah,
go
but my
to
guy-
Can you
Yeah,
stop?
my guy John's
Church every
here,
Sunday.
so he's gonna input on whatever.
Well, what was the question?
I don't even know anymore.
Karr's addicted to porn.
No, it's women and alcohol.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
limited alcohol. That's it.
That's
But I
the
can-
topic?
Yeah.
But I can control.
But
Do
you're
you,
not an
do you
alcoholic.
believe that he's addicted to women and
But
alcohol?
then I'm just saying that because people, because obviously we share our shots like posts right on Instagram and Snapchat, and people think we're alcoholics, but we're really not. So
Okay.
that's where I got it.
We're just weekend warriors, binge drinkers.
Yeah, because people say, "Oh, you guys are alcoholics, but you guys drink so much." But I mean, we can control it.
We have responsibilities.
The truth.
Yeah, that's where I got.
We have to
that.
keep up.
Bro, I barely drink.
And do you have Elo, man? I'm getting kind of scared. It's getting dark.
But yeah. So anything about my like, how do I solve this issue? Like, let's just say that. About
How do you solve the issue of
Of
a
what?
woman's perspective of like, hey, Karr, you're a slut?
Yes.
You can't. You can't.
Well, yeah, you can. If you build that trusting relationship with that girl and tell her, like, yeah, I'm not a slut. And
Yeah,
you
but
actually-
he's talking about everybody.
Okay,
Or-
everybody, like, that doesn't matter, though.
Or move to a
Everybody
different
doesn't matter.
place. Nobody knows you. Start, fresh start, you know? I mean,
Thank you, Johnny.
But
I got
he even
you.
looks like a slut.
Bro, you didn't see his jawline?
Yeah, man.
He can't go anywhere without looking good.
Yeah.
Nah. I look homeless most of the time. Ask Karr.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, that's where I got it from. So there's no way to solve it.
Like other people's perspective. Hey, everybody that's
No.
listening, he's not a slut.
Right.
Believe me.
And plus, I don't think he wants to work hard to try to change your mind. Because that's not important.
Yeah.
Well, I think that if you tried, like if you started
but how
going to
do you
church
try?
and you Instagrammed you going to church instead of you drinking,
That's some fake shit.
and hey, you know what? That could solve the issue. I'm just saying.
No, that's
I'd
stupid.
probably comment saying he'd burn as soon as he walked in.
Yeah, who are you talking to at the church?
That's Taylor, yo.
That ain't even me.
Taylor's trying to decide if she go on a date with Karr.
Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna say. Never mind.
What?
Nothing.
What?
No. I'm not gonna
Oh,
go there.
okay. Cool.
Damn.
I was gonna. I'm
That's trying to make
saving
me
you,
go
Karr. You're welcome.
Saving me.
This
hmm
needs saving.
I don't know.
I'm very grateful.
He needs you.
I was just gonna call him out, but I won't.
What are you gonna call me out? Just say it.
Just say it, it's fine.
Yo, he's ready.
It's clear. I don't
He
care.
wants it. Yo, give it to him.
I honestly can edit this, so it doesn't really matter.
I can edit this. Okay, but you know what's funny with Karr and I's relationship is that because it started so like sarcastically.
Yeah.
That's fair to say. Thank you, Jericho.
Yeah.
For being an idiot.
Is that sometimes for me it's hard to know when Karr's being serious.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm just like, are you being serious? Like, are you being like legit? Like, I have no fucking clue.
Hey, Taylor, guess
Which is
what?
what?
You don't have to trust him.
There's nothing about Karr. Karr's always serious, alright?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you,
Yeah.
Johnny.
He laughs about it.
I know.
but
I
he's
feel like
serious.
that's concerning me more than
Continue.
I lost my train of thought. Hold on.
Thank you, Jericho.
Wait, what are you gonna kill him on? Are you?
Oh, okay, no, and then we literally, this was our first time being like face to face. Literally, only the second time, and the first time was on the first podcast.
Sure.
And then like after that, you were pretty shit faced. I think at this point, it was like no.
Takes a lot for
No,
Karr.
he
to be
good.
No, you weren't shit faced. You were. See, that's the thing. I don't know. Like, it's really confusing for me because
I
sometimes.
think you guys need to get to know each other a little more.
No, the thing with Karr is that
You know what?
sometimes he
Karr-
says something super fucking serious, and it's like, okay, yeah, I can see that, and then the next day he'll contradict himself and be like, oh no, I didn't actually like mean that. Like, you know what I mean?
Like
It's like,
what?
okay.
You say that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I need an example. I don't know
You're
what
a taker
saying.
backer?
Okay, so after the first time we met you,
Say
you're like,
what I
okay,
said.
like message me when you get home. Okay, that's fair. I get home. He's like, okay, so like actually, like, why can't we like legit date? I'm like, what?
Oh, see, that's a very serious scenario.
That's a very serious scenario. And I was like, and like, I don't know, like we were just talking about the podcast and being sarcastic, like, whatever. And it's just like, I don't know, like, I'm like, are you being like seriously, like, no, like legit? And I was like, okay, well, first of all, we only met face to face once,
Okay.
and whatever. And he's like, okay, that's fair. And then the next day you go on and like you act like so like 180 from that, and it's just like I don't know where your head's at. So I don't know if like
So you're
it's
so
almost
confused
like
about my
Let's close this off right now.
Wait, so you're confused about
Y'all want to date or what?
Yeah.
Alright, let's get the answer.
Let's get the answer.
Right
Let's
now,
go.
I want this.
Everybody who's listening. Is
Everybody who's
listening.
listening, let's hear it.
for
Karr.
me. Like, do you want to hear
Mga
mine?
kanto.
Yeah. Well, ladies first. Ladies first.
Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Ladies first. I don't know Karr enough to say yes yet.
Alright.
Oh,
What about you?
what about you? You down?
See, the thing with Karr, it started off with him being funny, and then him starting like how Jericho always does.
Wait, Karr, are you down?
But then that's the thing.
Stop
I don't think.
talking, Taylor.
Sorry, I don't think Karr knows me enough to even ask that.
Hey.
Wait. So
Whoa! The first impression, would you?
she said.
Yes or not?
She said. This is what I'm getting. I mean, I would, but I need to get to know this guy a little more.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's a yes then.
No, it's not. It's
So
not a yes.
it's a safe answer.
No, it's
But
no,
it's not a no.
Yes, I
not a
would
no.
if I got to know this guy.
So
and
there
if
is a
he
chance.
is
I'm
the
not
guy
saying
that
yes, I would.
think-
If I got to know him, it could be a no. I don't know.
So, if you send more nudes to everybody else, then it's gonna be a no, dog.
Yeah.
But at this point, okay.
That's why you
For
don't
me-
say
Okay, what's your answer now?
Yeah.
I already said this. Fuck yeah, I would.
Oh,
Hey!
let's get it! Let's go!
Here's my thing. A few days ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sent her this fucking meme.
Ooh,
Which meme was
It's
that?
about this guy shooting his shot, And
Oh,
he kept
yes.
fucking missing. And then
He's on.
and she was like,
I knew that.
this is because I sent it to her because that was me, right? I'm like,
That's
shooting
how
my
you
shot.
felt.
I was shooting my shot at Taylor, and then she said, "Yeah, it's you," but then you keep going, but it's not. There's no results, and I'm like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Ouch.
I was like,
Ouch.
okay, well, I guess I
Wait,
won't do it
what
anymore.
happened? What? Okay.
Okay, let me explain this a little bit better. So he sends this meme, and I said, "Oh my god, that's you." And you're like, "Wow." I'm like, "Yeah," like you're not gonna get anywhere with that, whatever.
Exactly.
But that's the thing with Karr. I don't know if he sends me these things to be like funny, or if he's actually sending them to be sincere.
Yeah, but
and
when
so
I
as a like me, I'm a sarcastic person. I always look for the joke,
Yeah.
and so I say the joke. And that's the thing. Karr has sent me.
Body.
And Karr has sent me serious shit like that before, but been joking about it. He'd be like, "LOL" or blah blah blah. And it's like, okay, you're joking about it.
Sure.
So for me, I'm just gonna default to the jokes. I'm like, hey, like
I think it would
if he,
work.
I think it would work. Oh, listen here, Taylor. Let me run something by you. I don't know, like, humans are fickle, man. Like, you can't...
Karr's fickle.
You can't...
He's a fickle pickle.
You have to trust... You're here for a reason.
Randall.
You trust me,
yeah,
right? And then you obviously kind of trust Karr.
yeah,
This is his house, right?
mm-hmm.
So take whatever he says for that. And then if you feel like he's joking, hey, this is actually a serious issue. Hey, are you joking or not? And then that Karr will. It's hard for people to convey how they really feel. That's why it's so awesome to have memes, and you can just communicate through memes.
See, that's what I don't like, is that it's like and that's the thing with Karr, I always joke about it, that he only can talk to me on the podcast, because it's true. When I start getting into a serious conversation, or even just the other day, he was like, no, we gotta save it. I'm like, well, why?
Maybe you
Why
got
can't we
hurt by what you said.
Because
No,
look, we saved it all, and look what's happening. We're having this fucking series.
But we're not even talking about the things that we were talking about that you told me to save for. But anyway.
Yeah, but when we're gonna get to that point, it's not over.
True. But it's just annoying. It's like, well, why? Like, to me, it just seems like, okay, yeah, you're just putting me on the back burner then.
Okay.
No, you're jumping into a conclusion that you don't know that it's actually true.
But it's annoying, because it's like, I would like to talk to Karr about these things, but then he's stopping it.
Well, you want to talk about it now?
Ooh,
No,
let's
because
get
he
it.
purposely said to save for the podcast, so now I
Well, this is
purposely
a
am going to say
podcast
no.
now.
So can you guys talk about it? Because I'm
Yeah,
interested.
because I'm interested.
I don't even remember what it was.
What are you guys talking about? I wasn't here.
Wow, we were just gonna talk about her trip at fucking Edmonton.
Hey,
And
so
what
talk
happened there.
Nothing
I
happened.
mean, it was just casual.
Wait, are you guys dating or no? I missed it.
Are we dating or no?
I just said I'm so open to it, and she's like, she doesn't know me yet. I'm like, what else do you want to know?
Is that okay? Is that fair or no?
Well, no, and then I went into saying I can't even talk to Karr, because all he responds to is, lol, ha ha ha.
Is that
And
true?
that's it. Yeah,
Bonnie, what do you think?
100%
From
that's
her
true.
perspective, obviously, man. I can't change her mind about that shit.
I don't know.
No, but is
I haven't
that what
dated
you
in
do,
a while.
I don't know.
I'm asking
I mean,
you,
obviously, I'm
really?
not self-aware on this issue. So
I have called you out so many times, like, Karr, talk to me, and you're like, lol. And then that's all you say to it. And it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Taylor is like Twitter. It has to be more than 140 characters.
No, that's not true. Just even, like, a simple conversation would do. But
Okay.
See,
So
Karr,
next-
she wants a conversation.
So we're gonna have a conversation.
that's what I'm saying. It goes
Do
back
not-
to the
do
saying,
not
back to
troll
the
her.
date thing. It's like, I have no fucking clue, because he doesn't talk to me.
What do you mean? We had like 3 in a row on Snapchat.
3 days in a row?
Like a
Yeah, and it's you sending your fucking outfit of the day.
Which you say I'm look good in every time.
Yeah.
He does.
I know. Thank
Look
you.
at him. He's like
I know, and then I send a snap back of me and Beck, like, yeah, I look like a fucking, like, sack of potatoes. Like, true. I'm like, okay, that's
But
cool.
you're my sack of potatoes.
That's nice.
Hey.
Which I don't mind. Like whatever.
I'll turn to French fries someday.
Anyways.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay, let's get into this fucking thing I had fucking planned before I was getting
It went sideways.
executed on this shit.
What was it?
So we got this notebook podcast question that most of these guys inputted this shit on. So a notebook podcast tweeted, the main reason girls have a hard time moving on is because deep down inside, she wants the guy she fell in love with to return and for things to go back to the way they started. It's so hard to accept when he changes or turns out to be the opposite of what she thought he was. And I got a bunch of responses.
I didn't respond to that.
You fucking did.
I did respond to that.
So Taylor, what did you say?
Did you?
Why do you just start
I
with
laugh
me?
my ass off.
Oh, that's. What picture were you?
I'm the panda.
Oh.
Pandas, obviously.
I was the spaghetti, because I like carbs.
Yes, carb queen.
And I said
Taylor said she agreed with it. Or
Yeah.
absolutely.
That girls. It's hard for girls to move on.
Because she thinks she can get that person back.
Not that I think that it comes back, but it's just hard to move on because the fact that I had them at one point, it turned to another, and you just kind of wish you could go back in time and go back to that.
I guess it's just the fact of like starting over. That's why.
Yeah.
Girls
You just don't want to
having
get
that
to
time.
point.
Yeah, it's
back
like
again.
getting to know someone again. Because like that's shit.
That's the worst part.
It's a lot of work.
Mhm.
Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I think that's the most fun part.
But that's the best part.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Like getting to know someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chicks.
There's a lot of awkward moments.
Well, see,
though.
that's weird now because this like that generation. I know that you guys use like Tinder and shit. Like, I still like going fucking out and like just like physically talking to women.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think Taylor's like just all Tinder and shit.
Hmm?
No, but like for girls.
Taylor's like a unique case.
I'm an old soul. I like because if I see you in person
I
or
just
talk
troll
to
on
you,
Tinder.
then I know if I'm gonna actually like you or dislike you within the first 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Not saying it like has to stay that way, but like a general consensus of that person you get with actually meeting with them.
Yeah.
And online you can be fucking anyone. People can be great with words, but a shit person. You know what I mean?
I'm dope.
Thank
Opposite
you.
of that.
And then Randall, you said something.
I said I think it's like a lot easier for them.
To get over things right
Yeah.
away. Why do you think that way?
I think it's very, I don't know, I think girls are just like,
That's what
like it hurts you for like the first like couple days and shit, and then after that they're just,
That's all I've ever known, though. So
Yeah, that's-
I think the same.
Jericho, what's your input
I
about
think
that?
the same.
like girls moves
quicker.
on faster.
yeah,
Yeah.
then guys.
So all these guys agree.
Bro, I'm still
That they
hurting
move
from
fast.
like this one chick from like kindergarten, dog.
Same, bro.
You gotta play Drake, man.
Yeah, man, we're,
So
man,
Taylor, what
fuck.
do you think about that? These guys agree that.
I
It's
think I'm a little bit different. I kind of have to exclude myself from the general female population. Generally, I would agree with you guys, and most like friends of mine or whatever, they're like, oh yeah, like I can get any guy I want out of this, and they go and do it. For me personally, I think I'm a little bit more on the emotional side, even though I don't like to say that I am.
Right.
And I feel like a breakup for me to get to that point is a really, really big deal. And so, like, I don't want to go and to hop into some other guy's bed. I don't want to be going to talk to some other guy right away. I want to debrief, feel it out,
Right.
and really kind of gather my thoughts and feelings on it.
Damn, who hurt you, man?
A lot of people.
Oh, 4 people.
About 4.
Johnny, what do you think about this? Do you
Well,
agree with these guys about moving? The girls just move.
girls
on quicker?
moves like
Faster?
Faster.
wait, girls moves on faster.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess it depends on the person, man. Because like
Man,
for
what
me,
do you think,
okay,
man?
for me
Take a
personally,
stand, bro.
Yes, this is your opinion.
personally, all right.
You move.
When someone just like cut me off, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Fuck you. I'm going to Tinder.
What was the longest relationship that you've been in?
Me?
Longest?
The longest?
2
Fuck.
years,
Yeah.
6 months?
2 years. No. Well, because like it was on and off. It was like 2 years. Like Karr was like, Karr knows about this, but fuck her though.
right?
I'm good at love.
But yeah, no, like it was a 2-year relationship.
Yeah, but like to be honest,
But then
I moved on.
after that breakup
Yeah.
period, when you were like, you told yourself like, I'm not going back into that.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to recover? Right away?
To be honest, 2 months. I'm good. Back in the game like
2
that.
months is like
It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's
be
not
honest-
even probation, dude.
No, to be honest, I'm good. Like, yeah, I still think about her sometimes, but like,
What can you do?
there's no feels anymore there. I'm
Yeah.
like, nah.
How do you think she reacted? She's still feeling it? Do you think?
Maybe. I treated her good, so can't blame her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think it's women hurt a lot in a very short time frame.
Yeah, I don't want to say that they don't hurt.
Yeah.
That's not the question, right?
No.
The question is who moves on faster.
Yeah.
It's usually the girl, right?
It's usually the
Because
girl.
in your scenario, she moved on fast,
Yeah.
right, Jericho?
And it took like fucking forever, what it seemed.
Yeah.
Right.
See, in my own personal experience with my exes, they all moved on faster than I had. But I feel like for me is I'm a little bit different. I'm a different bird that way. Like I'm a little bit more.
What kind of bird are you?
I'm a different bird.
If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
And so that's why I feel like I don't know, I can't, like, I agree with you guys, I do feel like, but I also feel like women have better options to move on than men do.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing.
Like,
about
if I really wanted to, I could probably find someone right now and be like, hey, do you
He's
want
right
to
there! That's what I say!
He still wants to get to know me, guys.
But you know
What's there to know, man?
Go on a fucking date. That's it.
Taylor, this is how you should trust Karr. I would sacrifice our friendship for that guy, you guys to go on a date.
Yeah, okay, Jericho.
Oh my god.
That means that Jericho. Never mind.
Hey, you mean a lot to me. You know that.
Yeah.
Don't be like that.
But you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I could go on whatever, especially if you're a decent looking girl, it's a little bit easier to be like, hey, like, you wanna, like, I can message a guy and be like, yeah, like, I'm down.
Yeah.
Then if a guy to do that, he'd probably get shut down a little bit faster or often.
Which is true, because guys just take...
Just whatever.
They'll
Yeah,
take
guys
whatever.
is like, yeah, sure. Why
They'll
not?
just take whatever they get, right? Any more on this?
Well,
Because most of the guys who responded to this all
Was
said the
guys?
same thing.
Was it just guys?
Just guys.
I didn't respond.
Yeah, because they're all hurt.
Hey, I responded, thank you very much.
I didn't respond.
You respond because
Sorry,
I know you would respond. Yeah, all the guys said the exact same things.
That girls move on a lot faster.
Yeah.
It could also just be one group.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, but
why would you beat up yourself? It's not gonna help.
Oh, what do you mean? It was awesome.
Nah, I'm
What do
good.
you mean?
I'm
what
good.
Do you mean? What do you mean? Oh, like why?
Like
why
after a
why
breakup,
beat
like why would you
yourself
beat
up?
up yourself up?
Yeah.
Like,
It's not beating yourself up. For me, I like to think about it and actually really
yeah,
gain
exactly.
on what I feel about
well,
it.
that makes you crazy.
No, it doesn't. For me,
Yeah,
it
it does.
doesn't.
Yeah, that's why you have a hard time moving on.
I have perfect...
Taylor, he just called you crazy.
It would be the first time.
And you get called
Listen
crazy.
to him.
She's gonna kill you now.
What did you say?
She's about to throw down, bro.
Let's go.
Let's go. I just called you crazy.
Okay, go.
Okay, go, Taylor.
What are you saying? Isn't it true though?
That girls are crazy?
No.
No.
You said they...
No, it makes
That,
you
like,
crazy.
that
Yeah.
thinking about it makes you crazy.
Yeah.
I think it does, but I think it's important that it does make you go crazy, because then you kind of come out of it and have, like, a new light. You have to go through the whole process. It's like grieving. You know, you have to go through the steps. You have to go through everything. And for fully to move on, if you just say, yeah, well, fuck it and whatever, it's easy to have that mentality and just be like, fuck it.
Well, it helps though.
It helps for the moment, but long run, for me personally, I've done that and it doesn't help me. And what I've done with my last ex is that I've taken it, you go through emotions, you go through like, yeah, fuck him, I can do better, whatever, and then you go through, do I need him? Do I want him? And then you kind of go through the missing him stage, and then you kind of have to get through that, and you kind of go through the steps saying, no, like, I deserve better, I'm this, I'm that, and then you actually break down with what actually happened and what actually was wrong, and what you could do better in the next relationship or whatever, and then for me now, I feel like I'm in a spot where I'm the best I've been because I actually did break down the whole relationship, and I took my time with it.
That was good.
I don't know why
You
it takes
dealt
me
with
so
it.
long. It takes me a while.
Yeah.
I know these guys take long, like him and
Yeah.
Jericho.
Well, Jericho is, he's...
I mean,
All around.
you guys do you. You just.
I would
you
love
just
to
meet-
be that. I'd love to just
You
be
just
like,
meet-
yo,
yeah.
we just broke up. Let's go. You know, but I can't.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
fine. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Single Randy's the best Randy.
You know, it's fine.
It's cool, man.
I don't know. I don't think Randall likes being single, to be honest.
I don't.
But it's the best iteration of it.
I don't think he likes being single.
He doesn't. I don't think.
Yo, you know what? That
Like,
part
who
of my
likes
life,
being single?
that part
Yeah.
of my life was the best single life, like chapter.
I mean,
of my
but I
life.
don't
you're just
think you
messing
liked
with
it.
people.
I loved it, bro. I was partying. I was meeting so many women.
But I think you
and
wanted to be in a relationship underneath
He
everything.
forced me. Jericho forced me. He said it was a good idea.
No, get the fuck out
He
of here.
did say it was a good idea.
He said it was a good idea, but I think you wanted it.
Yeah, see, it was his idea.
Yeah, but I think you wanted it, though.
Of course, I wanted it, but
Yeah, but it was all on you at the end. Right?
oh, of course, I made the decision. But
Yeah.
I honestly how much was I loving life, bro? I was living.
I know
it,
you're
bro.
fucking like single Randy was fucking crazy. Like,
Single Randy was the best Randy.
yeah, but I think there's certain friends that we do have that just don't like being single and they just get into relationships no matter what. Right?
I had that problem. I can admit that. I have that problem. I still don't really like being sad. I don't think really anyone wants to. Like, as humans, we want to be...
With someone.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you want that someone. And, like, for me and my family, it's like, okay, my parents are together. Both my sisters, like, one's married, one has a long-term boyfriend, and, like, it's just kind of, like, awkward, and, like, I'm there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
We can change that, Taylor.
Ooh, he's
I mean,
He's serious. I swear to God, he is.
Have another sip of alcohol, Karr.
look
But-
no further.
I'm not addicted, though.
No, not addicted.
Not addicted.
Not addicted.
But I'm addicted to you.
Mm-hmm.
Taylor?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Now I lost my train of
Put a
thought.
shot.
Okay, anyway, go ahead.
No, I lost my train of
You
thought.
lost it?
Jericho's sick.
Okay, so any thoughts on that? Shh. Any thoughts on these questions? Those
Okay.
questions?
I'm ready for another question. If you
Okay.
guys are ready
Yeah,
to move on.
move on.
Well, Taylor's the only lady here. But what's the ideal
Are you sure?
location for men to shoot their shot? What's the best like avenue to take when people are like
Take notes, baby.
Direct.
trying to get your attention and trying to like
Being direct about it. Well, not direct, but like
No.
don't fucking record me, you weirdos. Like, what do you mean
like is it social media? Is it in person? Is it
in person?
at a certain like is it at the club? Is it
No, not a club, but in person.
that's the best place? Just in person, like casual.
Like, school setting, like that.
Yeah.
No, well, I mean, like, it's hard to do, man.
It is. It's. I'm not saying it's easy, but ideally, like, it's not always going to happen ideally. But for me personally, it's going to be in person. When
So a
you're
random
not
guy walks
drunk.
up to you while you're on your way, you're walking to your car from work, and he was like, yo, what up,
Okay,
girl?
sorry. Start the beginning. I missed that.
Scenarios, baby! I love them!
I love scenarios.
You're on your way to your car after
Uh-huh.
work,
Uh-huh.
and, like, this guy that you don't know, apparently, enough to date right away, goes up to you, and he was like, yo, what up, girl? What do you do in that situation?
The only time I've actually been asked out in person was literally that scenario, and it was great.
Well,
So that
It was after work, going to my car, and he was like, "Hey, do you want to come grab a drink with me? You want to go with me?" I'm like, "Yeah." It was great.
no. Did you guys end up being in a relationship?
Yeah, briefly. I mean, it didn't work out, but he was the only guy who wasn't a piece of shit.
So where do you
Yeah.
where's an ideal place for people to like look for relationships? Just
None.
There isn't.
There isn't?
Just happens when it happens, eh?
Well,
Yeah.
Instagram's like
Yo,
biggest
sometimes it's at the library. Sometimes it's at a podcast.
part. Yeah.
You know, it's like random.
so
He's
there's
right
really
there!
there's really no ideal place. It's just what happens to what
Yeah,
happens.
no, there's no.
Yeah, you agree? Okay.
I've only done, like, through
Live
personal
action?
interaction. Yeah, I've never done it through,
Like social media,
Yeah.
DMs.
yeah, man. It's not my thing.
I just don't do it, man.
You just don't do it?
Because I'm already in love.
You do.
No names, bro.
No names.
Josie.
Josie?
Get the fuck out of here, no.
Keep the Josie?
Yikes.
That was cool, though.
So I got another fucking statement here that
Let's go.
I want your thoughts on. So there's this Sonobo podcast, they put this up. I swear dating in this generation is pointless because everyone either stuck on their ex or broken from some old shit they can't let go.
That's what they said?
Yeah. So what are your thoughts?
Where's this from?
The Notebook podcast. It's just another podcast.
They said it's not worth getting into a relationship because people are stuck.
With like from the past.
This generation is kind of pointless to date because you're either stuck on their ex or broken from some old shit they can't let go.
No.
What generation are they
it's
talking
it's
about?
fallacy.
Our
This
gen- our
generation.
generation.
I mean, it's kind
I
of
think,
true
I
though.
think it's easy to say
It's
shit
true,
like
but
that.
it's because people think it's true. Even
Well,
though it doesn't have
but
to
here's
be.
the thing.
They're perpetuating it.
It takes the right person to like makes you forget the other one,
Yeah.
Right.
right?
Right.
So,
Yeah. Sometimes
Shit, John
the
is so
person
smart.
is like from Asia.
Or sometimes
and
he's on the
he's
chair.
on the chair. God damn, you stole my line, bro.
Sometimes
No, I
he's
think-
right there.
Honestly, I think that it's easier to get behind that statement.
Yeah, and it's a cop-out.
And yeah, it's a cop.
It's a cop-out to not look at yourself.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Why do I disagree with that?
Yeah, why do you?
I don't know, because I mean, like, I don't think that I'm
There's other
caught up in a lot of bullshit.
I
mean, like, I'm caught on a lot of bullshit from the past, but I use it as like a learning experience, and then you
make it a positive.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
See, statements like that
People just love
ruin
to
it
say
because,
yes.
like, how you say it, like, that's the mature response. Like, I take it and I learn from it. But then when people, like, have issues, like, if you're dating someone, like, oh, an issue from a ex came up in the past, they automatically just refer back to that statement, like, oh, yeah, like, blah, 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 it's just a
So
problem.
now it's not worth it.
Exactly. And then they just give up instead of working through it.
What do you think, Guinto?
I think most people are on that shit. They just, like, their past just, this happened, and it's probably going to happen again, so what's the point? And they don't let go of that.
That person that made that fucking statement is that person that you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That's what we're discussing.
That's what.
Because I think that people are stuck on that without giving in. Like, people are different.
That's why I think
than
it's important to talk about, like, past relationships, because you can say, hey, this is the things that have happened to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is how I got fucked. Now,
That's
are
a
you
great
gonna fuck me?
thing, but when it comes to scenarios of trying to solve these issues, it's a little different.
No, but when you're going into, like, see, when we were going into scenarios of, like, okay, so what was your experience? Okay, now this is my
Yeah, but you don't have
experience.
to go into scenarios. You can just talk about, like,
I like this
How we can-
scenario. I'm sorry. I'm on Team Randall right here.
you can be on Team Randall. That's cool. I'm just saying, like, there's.
I just wanted to learn from her experience, because maybe from a woman's perspective, maybe I did something wrong that person that I was with at that one point didn't tell me I was doing.
Because with that, it's really hard to look at yourself and be like, yeah, like, I did that wrong. Sometimes it takes someone saying, hey,
This is what happened.
this is what happened. Maybe it would happen this way. That it
Yeah,
really
that is
zones in. You're like, holy fuck, I never thought of it that way. Maybe I was wrong.
That was a
Because
good scenario.
everyone in this room can say, you know what, I've been in a situation where I was gung-ho, I was right 100%, I did no wrong, and someone said something and you're like, holy fuck, maybe I was wrong.
I just also like having really challenging conversations.
I like it.
That's
But
good.
then, like I said before, it's like
It's only training. It's not real shit.
it's
Training.
But training is good.
training is great. I think
But it
training is
doesn't prepare
great,
you-
but then
it
you
doesn't,
get into
like-
scenarios where
But we were
you're not
talking
trained
about
for.
real life scenarios.
Yeah, it wasn't
And
just
it was
random.
and it was very similar to what she was going through and what I was going through. And maybe the way that I reacted
Right.
was maybe something that I shouldn't, or maybe it was a bad way of reacting.
Yeah, but you're also just like making stuff in your head, like what do you think is right? But then at the time when you're gonna get to that situation,
That's the point where he thinks he was right in his situation. I think I was right in his situation. We say what we did, and then maybe we're like,
You
give
know
this
what?
a
I
huh.
could have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? Next time, if that were to ever happen to me, I'm gonna take that from her and I'm gonna learn.
Mm-hmm.
I think your intention was different though, Randall.
I
I think
don't
you
think
just
so.
wanted to go
I-
through these scenarios just to go through these scenarios.
I think that was my intention.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'm
'Cause
telling
you asked
what my
me to
intention
get-
was.
But I think you asked me to go into that situation where I shut it down right away is because, like, I don't know what you want me to answer, so what's the point of me even going through this?
Okay, so maybe he should have just been role playing with me then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys have this connection of, like, hey, let's just go through this. Just to go through it.
No, but we're not saying just to go through it. We're saying just to learn from that
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah, it's very training oriented.
It's training in a way.
I would say
it's
I
like,
took some helpful things from Randall.
And I took some helpful things from her.
So what'd you learn?
We'll save it for the end of the podcast.
No,
Continue.
just
Ask
say
your
what you learned.
questions. No, I don't want to.
You don't want to?
I don't feel like it.
Okay. I'm asking you what you guys learned. You don't want to say it, but
I will save it.
at the wrap up.
Yeah, at the wrap.
why does that have to be at the wrap up?
Because that's a good way of ending the podcast.
Okay. Okay, another question. Name a non-sexual act that turns you on.
What?
Name a non-sexual.
Easy.
A non.
She brings me food.
Fuck yeah! She brings me food.
A what?
Name a non-sexual act that turns you on.
Fuck that. That's not even it, man.
Easy, man.
You said food,
Okay,
John?
food. I
Yeah.
can't say food. Go ahead.
Brings
Oh,
you
Karr,
food?
go this way. Oh, you want to go this way?
Me?
Yeah,
I'll
you-
go. Who doesn't
Okay,
matter.
go.
Ambition. Easy.
You, Taylor? If it's ambition, your man's just right there.
He could be sitting beside you on the chair.
But no scenarios, okay?
So let's just pretend.
Pretend that That's good.
I would say a non-sexual act that I would say if I can really like have sarcasm and laugh and make fun of each other, gets me every time.
Okay, Jericho.
All I can think
He
about
likes
is
the fuck.
Oh, relax.
Oh, non-sexual.
Selfless acts.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Selfless acts. Like, what has somebody done selfless that was like, fuck, I'm hard right now, dog?
I don't know.
That is
When
actually
someone
me,
helps like a
except
homeless person.
I'm not hard.
Yeah.
obviously.
When somebody helped a homeless person that fucking got your dick hard.
Yeah.
Like,
You're
Wow,
fucking
whoa,
lying.
whoa, say it again.
No, like helping somebody out
It's a
of
hard
coming
boner.
out of your way. I like selflessness. Is like,
And that got you hard.
So altruism
Yeah.
altogether.
altruism.
Yeah,
yes.
there you go.
I agree with Jericho. That's a really good one.
Yeah, that was good, man.
Okay, Randall.
What turns me on?
That's
Not
non-sexual.
sexually.
Non-sexually.
Yeah, you little fuck.
I think you're on me with this boat ambition.
I like that. I was trying to think of something else creative, but you know what? I think being interesting and being able to have challenging conversation without like anybody getting upset over anything and just like going and just like learning from each other.
So
I
it's
think
like
is the
open-minded person.
Or tolerance.
best. Tolerance is good. I think
Tolerance is good.
And just being able, because like you know when like you somebody does something wrong and you're just like, hey, like that was wrong, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like I hate that.
Yeah, they blow up right away.
Yeah.
That's
I just
like
like-
an example of a feeble mind.
Like self-awareness, then.
Yeah, like just being able to take feedback, I think is good.
Okay.
Coachable.
But do you
Yeah.
like that people just don't have, like they don't want to grow? They don't want to get better?
Stop trying to force your opinions on other people, Karr.
Oh, no,
this is a good one.
I'll tell you after.
Yeah, no, that's I can't, man, I can't. I don't know, man. It's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like they need to have ambition and stuff. Like for sure. Like there has to be. You can't be okay with just being okay.
Yourself right now.
You know, yeah, you gotta do something.
You
With
can't be
your life.
content.
And you know what? Even if you're like the best, even if you're wanting to be the best at something that you're currently doing right now, let's just say that I'm working at fucking give me something like McDonald's, you know, and I want to be, you know, the best team lead there is, and or
someday be a manager.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know, like that's okay too. But if you're okay with just
Being you right
a
now at
crew
this
member.
point.
yeah, then that's not okay. There has to be growth. Growth.
Has to be an
I love
insatiable appetite for growth.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes, baby, let's go.
And English is my second language.
That's true.
It shows.
I was just about to say that.
Oh, I think we have a connection.
Whoa, that was kind of weird that you were just
Right.
about to say that,
And
then
he was about to
Well,
say
you two have been doing it all
Hey.
night. You two have been doing it all night, so I don't know.
I mean, we fuck.
See this?
Yeah, man.
Okay, next. Have you ever seen someone attractive, but yet you still find them unattractive?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
all the
Definitely.
time.
It's 100%.
It's like you could be like beautiful as shit, but like if your personality is shit, then fuck
Yeah.
you then.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Mhm.
Yeah, get out of here.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was with
Like-
someone.
This is the thing though, it's like I like chemistry better than I like physical attraction.
Wow, this is new to me.
Whoa! You know why? Because Johnny's in love.
Jericho's right here!
No, I'm just saying. Okay,
He's a
I
good
was with this light skinned chick before.
Ooh, no! Remember that chick? Why do we have to bring
Okay,
skin
go,
color?
Yeah. No, but like
This is like a category, right?
Oh, word.
we were like kind of together, but like there's no chemistry there, all physical. So I'm like, nah, I have to go. So I'm like, all right, bye.
Yeah, word.
Cause like, Kate, I can send her memes, and she's like, Kate, listen. She's like, yo, that's so fucking stupid. I was like, well, fuck you then, alright? That is funny as shit.
Memes are life, though.
Memes are life.
I was like, fuck you,
Yeah.
alright?
Memes are life.
Yeah.
Like if there was any memes,
She actually
would be
lives like
fun.
5 minutes away from you, man.
Oh, whoa? What's her name? Just kidding.
No names, Karr.
I'm just
Nah.
kidding. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's true. It's like most of the girls who I just like have sex with, it's like I just don't like them any other way, just physical. That's it.
exactly.
Just a need.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
need. That's it. We have this understanding, like, we're just gonna fuck, and that's it. No relationship. That's it. Just fucking. I find them
can't do
attractive
that.
in a way that's all I want, and
That's the old car. Relax, Taylor.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying I
just
get
kidding.
that, but for me personally, like
You want chemistry.
Substance.
I have done like I've had sex with people and it's like we just had sex, but like I've only done it like twice. I'm like,
I've cried after a one-night stand. I don't like it.
It's alright, man.
You're not even lying.
I'm not even lying. I don't like one-night stands. I don't like them.
no, I don't like it either.
Really?
It's just like to me.
I've
it's
had.
No, for
Whatever,
real though. It's like
and I
I've
cried.
had that. I'm like, it's not good, you know, because there's
Yeah.
no connection.
I need
Yeah.
some rapport.
like just leave.
Yeah,
Car's like, wait, fuck.
But how many have you had?
that is the topic right now, alright?
I feel bad, man. I feel bad like about like 10, 20, 30 times. And I don't know. I feel like feeling bad today.
It's not about me right now.
Fuck my wife.
That's
Yesterday.
I felt bad
How about
yesterday. Oh, man.
Jericho, how about you? How about you, Jericho?
yeah, exactly.
What?
Do you like
You
one-night
had-
stands, yo?
No.
Yeah, right.
I've never had one.
You're such a
What?
fucking liar.
You are a liar.
It was during the day. Stupid motherfuckers.
Oh God.
What compelled you to do this though?
Because I wanted to.
Out of what?
But it was such a part of my life where it was like dark.
It was dark.
It was
There's
dark,
darkness.
It was dark.
When now there is light.
Hey.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, anything more on this topic or anything else you guys want to discuss?
That's all your question? That's it?
I just have those.
There's just those questions?
Yeah, you want to talk about anything else? Taylor, you have anything?
Oh, just say it like you were the thing that you were about to say earlier, like the closing. To wrap
Yeah.
things
Oh,
up.
this is
Oh yeah, yeah.
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 Fine for me.
wrap up.
Yeah, the wrap up.
I learned how to beatbox.
Yeah, see?
No, but I did learn, yo. I learned that that there's a certain point of insecurity that actually does matter, and there's a certain point where like it shouldn't. I believed in having insecurities is like an okay thing, and that's what I wanted to challenge you on. But
I
that
don't want
person,
this
the
finger
person,
pointed at me.
But I think you guys didn't even really challenge each other. I think
I
you just
feel like
I
agreed
was
at the-
trying to challenge, but you stopped us.
Yeah, it's
Because
not
you're like
about
none
me-
of the scenario bullshit.
Yeah, but what are you gonna? What is your goal? I just
To
understand.
challenge me, to force me to think.
Yeah, and then she was gonna respond and say something, and maybe it was something that would have made me learn and changed myself.
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting back to this fucking scenario thing. It's just like you're getting to a scenario where it's not even like you guys are a couple.
That doesn't matter.
It does matter
No, not really.
because I have never been in a relationship and I still have answers.
Yes, you have been in a relationship.
It's been a while though.
But that's why we're getting a women's perspective, though.
It's not about being a woman or a male. It's just like
It's
relationships in
perspective,
general.
Randall.
She just so happens to be.
Karr,
a
you're
female.
being such an eye roll right now.
For you.
I think for Randall as well. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Randall's fun.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah, like I honestly thought that he was just like you just ended it way too, but there was other stuff in the back end there.
Mm-hmm.
Which she didn't mention, which is like that's
Fair.
how
That's fair to
Yeah.
say.
That's
that's
fair.
how it works, right? You don't have to
Yeah,
give
that's fair.
everything.
Yeah.
And like for me, for not saying it, I feel like that's purposeful because I mean a lot of that shit is his shit. It's not for me to
Yeah,
air
she
out.
didn't want to actually put all.
Well, yeah, no, like I didn't ask you about his insecurities.
No, for sure. And it's just like I get why you would think that, but there's always more to the story.
Yeah. You know what? The moral of the story is I was just trying to get down to your listeners is that, it's very difficult to have like the same love that Lola and Lola or Grandma and Grandpa used to have.
Yeah.
Growing old with someone, it's very very difficult.
Well, this is the thing about like the old days.
Yeah.
They don't have Tinder. They don't have Instagram.
It's the
They work-
options.
They work shit out. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like the options.
Yeah.
There's options.
but it's just human to do so. We're gonna evolve.
So
That's
are
true,
you
though.
saying that, like my parents probably knew each other for like 2 days and then they like fucking. got
That's a
married.
Filipino thing. My parents knew each
Yeah,
other for a year and they
same.
got married,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Same.
And like we have divorced parents, so
But then my other cousins and stuff like that, like
they
right,
work
you
things
have-
shit out.
Yeah.
So it's all situational, obviously, right?
yeah.
It's just like the point where you want to work things out and you want to be with each other no matter what. And some people, they go through it and they don't want to separate out of whatever reason.
See, I just learned something from you just now, man.
There you go.
Scenarios.
It's not a scenario. This is actually just a response.
Real life.
Yeah.
IRL.
Well, we were talking
We were
about
talking
in
about real life.
Yeah, but
like
the
a
past-
scenario that has happened to her, and what happened, and then what happened in my scenario, and then we're just gonna be like, okay, yeah, like maybe I've done something different. I could have done something different.
This is. I'm not disgruntled. I'm not shutting down scenarios in general and working things out. It's just that this works. This is not for me. This is not a point where you should do this on a podcast
Why not?
because it's just like
Is there rules to a podcast?
I think it's just not for people to like. This is not a listener's way to go through things. I learned to I do listen to so many podcasts where they go through scenarios and they have so much issues doing scenarios like that it's not beneficial for everybody. It just like this
It
is
leaves
just,
you more confused.
it's just confusing. It's like this is not. It doesn't give any answers. It just gives people.
But sometimes that's not the point, is to get an answer, though.
So it's not beneficial. So what's?
But that doesn't
Why
mean
do
it's
you-
not beneficial.
Is there a lot of things that we talk about that are beneficial on this podcast?
Well, people listen to it weekly, right? So
You should make a poll.
Well, yes.
Let's see.
But there's also stuff that we talk about that aren't beneficial to people.
True.
it's just fun and laughter. If that's not beneficial, then what is?
Ooh.
Maybe she was gonna say something really funny, but you know what? We stopped the scenarios, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can have your own podcast and discuss that later. So
Okay, fine.
When
We're
it comes
gonna
to my
we're gonna
podcast,
be the Guinto Bros.
It's his rules.
when my podcast, I just don't want to be like, what is this getting to?
No, you know what? I like beans. It'll be the Pinto Bros for Pinto beans.
There you go. There you go. You guys can discuss this whatever you guys want.
So,
It's because
I'm
you
just
can
saying.
think and you're not drunk.
Yeah, man. I need some drink. Holy fuck.
I'm
Don't
just
drink.
saying, it's like your scenarios are great and it should be a learning tool, but like this is not for everybody. Like
Well,
it's great
a
for
lot
your
of this-
it's great for your scenarios, but yeah, it's just like I just want to shut that up because like it's just hypothetical.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Because it was a real thing.
It's a real thing, but the results are not fucking real.
I don't even know what the result was with her because she didn't
We
even
didn't
get to
get to
finish.
That's the
Shit.
point. It's not going to be real.
But it was
But it
real.
was. But because we asked her, you guys have asked her, what was the issue between you and your ex-boyfriend? So she was going through what happened, like a scenario that happened with her and her ex-boyfriend. So I was asking,
No, but you were getting to a point where like you're asking questions like you're the boyfriend and you're the girlfriend.
Well, yeah, that forces me to think, saying if my ex actually said this or my ex actually did that, well, how would I respond to
But
that?
you guys are also different people from your exes.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's
So
the
what's
point.
the point?
but that's the point.
That's the point.
But you're not the same people, so what's the
It
point?
skews the
I
result,
think,
man.
Karr, we're like here and you're just like out to lunch.
No, it's just
the-
like
No,
there
it
is
skews the
no.
results.
It very exactly.
But
Jared,
that's the
thank
point.
you.
We're trying to get to different results
But why?
because
That's what. Thank you,
that's
Jared.
how it forces us
I
to
understand.
think.
I understand what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying 100%. Like
But do
Randall
you?
has never been or will be my boyfriend, and
That
if
sucks, boy.
I'm just trying to get like from her perspective, like what happened in that scenario. Okay, sweet. So this is how you.
but let's
were
just
thinking,
say
and
like
that's-
if my ex acted like Randall in that situation on what he would do, how would I react back?
Okay, wait. I'm gonna say this.
Mm-hmm.
So, you guys are running your scenarios or whatever. Someone's gonna listen to this. The moment that person has to make a decision, none of y'all shit matter.
Why? Because we could
Doesn't
influence.
matter.
We could influence the right
No.
decision.
No.
You don't think that we could influence the right decision?
Hell no.
So then, why even ask her about anything that has happened in the past
So
of her
make you
relationships?
feel good.
That's the...
talking about it.
So I can't talk to her about it to make.
I didn't say you can't.
Well,
Okay.
that's what we were doing.
Yeah, but I know what Karr is trying to. Okay, so 1 + 1 is 2. Yes.
Okay.
Your scenarios, if someone hears about it, they're not going to think 1 + 1 is 2, because every situation is different, and even if this happens
But
to
the
you,
scenario that we were talking about is very similar to what we went through.
similar
very
but
plausible.
not the same.
Yeah.
Nothing is gonna be the
Nothing's
same.
gonna be exactly.
Even if, like, if I...
You're proving the point. Nothing is
Yeah.
ever the same.
No. Yeah. No.
So your result will always be skewed.
It's not. It's
and
not. It's not going to be the same right to the point. But okay, so we felt the exact same way.
Okay, it is a good tool to have, but not everybody's gonna be like, "Oh shit!" This.
But
is
do you
this,
think that it
this
could
is
benefit
this.
one person?
It could definitely benefit a million people. If they
Oh.
But-
Okay.
but
But let's not talk about it because we don't want to benefit.
No,
maybe
no.
the possibility of it even reaching out one person.
But that's the point of discussion, is to open people's mind and get different perspectives. It doesn't mean that I'm going to take... If I listen
No,
to this
dude,
podcast
I
and I
think-
wasn't even on it and I took it, I would listen to it. And maybe it forces me to look at myself and what would I do in that situation. And I roleplay in my own head.
That's true.
okay, so but when you're faced with that this same.
But then I'm
Or you
equipped
know
with
what?
tools. I'm equipped with information and different perspectives that
Just-
may influence
does that
me on
mean-
what I would do.
Okay,
May.
wait. Let me say this. Okay.
It's may. It's not will.
Everything is made. Then why
No,
even
no.
have a podcast? Why even ask questions?
So here's the podcast thing. We ask questions and we want you to tell them. We don't come up with.
It's nothing that was come up out of thin air. It was an actual scenario. It
We
was a
want
real
you to
thing that
give
happened.
answers to. I'm trying to get answers from you. We're not giving up. Like, we're not story building. We're not giving scenarios where things are going to be made up and
It
stuff.
wasn't
you
made
can't
up.
ask anything.
It wasn't made up. I asked her what.
It is
what
made
hap-
up at the end.
No, I asked her what happened in that situation.
And
like,
what
did
would you do?
No, and what
Which
did
is-
you do? What did you react?
And
How
how
did
can
you? How did you react?
And
then
how would you react to the situation, which is made up?
no, because it
Correct?
actually happened to me too.
So whatever she said, you're going to say something that happened to you.
That's what we were talking about.
That's
if you were
but we
listening,
were going back and forth on
Yeah.
similar
No,
situations.
how can you say that? It's an answer to something that you didn't experience.
But he
I did experience
it.
That's what we were talking about. Okay, what were we talking? Stop. What were we talking about?
You were talking about a relationship where you guys went through these things.
Oh,
okay?
what thing? What thing? What exact scenario were we
And
talking
you were
about?
saying that you guys were together and you would answer these things. Correct?
No, I wasn't. I was asking her. I just asked her. Okay,
You said, if I was your boyfriend... I don't know why you're laughing. You said, if I was your boyfriend and you said this and this, what would you do?
no, that wasn't the actual conversation that we were happening. Is like, okay, so
You were role-playing. That's the whole point. You take roles of other people.
this is what was happening. That's wrong. This was the conversation. I want you to replay it, and it was basically like, okay, so or this person that I was with was upset,
Okay?
okay, and I was trying to make them,
Okay.
like I was trying to make them happy or whatever,
Okay.
right? I don't think that was, or I don't think that should be my responsibility, right? And then this was a scenario that actually happened to me, and this is something, and she was going to go into something that actually happened to her in that very similar scenario. How did that person react, or how did you react? And then it stopped.
How did you react? You guys don't have the similar... Like, you don't have the exact same scenarios. So how can you react?
Yeah,
where it's
no.
like
We were just talking about this happened to me, and
this
she was
also
like,
happened to me.
"Yes, it happened to me too." Right? That's
Which
what.
is completely different.
No,
So
it's
No,
not.
because-
But that's the point. I want to get what he did, and he wants to get what I did,
in
and
the
then we
very
collab,
same
and then
and the
we
very same scenario that happened to me, which happened to her, because I can guarantee that scenario that we were talking about that actually happened. It was a real life scenario. That scenario that we were talking about happens to a lot of people,
happens to everyone.
everyone.
yeah, but you guys are you're putting like personal like experiences.
That's the whole point, Karr.
Okay, so what are you trying to solve? That you're gonna come up with this idea that
Okay, so if you're
What?
saying that you need to come to a definite answer, then don't ask anything that's related to relationships, because there is no definite
no. I ask you guys personal relationship questions, and you guys create a scenario where you can solve these issues.
I'm done with this.
I don't even know why you guys are like just big because this is what I ask on this podcast is personal information.
Mm-hmm.
And
And I was asking her what happened to her in that scenario. Like,
and then
what,
you guys trying to solve it between you two.
Exactly.
Exactly. No, like I wasn't like, hey, you know what? Okay, we're dating now, and fucking
You did say that.
No, not for this scenario. Not for. I wasn't like, hey, you know what? We're dating now, and you know what?
We made up a scenario.
You literally said role play.
Oh my god. Okay.
Did you not say that, Jericho?
Okay, but
did they not just say role play?
Okay, so let's just say that, and I was gonna be the person that I was, and this is exactly what happened to me. Okay, and this is I'm going to be the person that I was in real life. Okay, and this is how I reacted.
Yeah.
How do you react? Because it happened to you too. What did you do in that situation?
Okay. So what do you want to get out of this?
Because
Perspective.
What do you guys want to get out of this?
Perspective, because I know that 100%, I know 100% that it'll happen to me again. I know 100% that scenario will happen to me again. Because I've been in 6 very serious relationships, and it's happened to me every single time.
It's human nature for
So
Yeah.
it's research.
Yeah.
You just want to research between these two.
Is that what you want?
No, and like
Well, no, but I'm not. It's not just between us. We're doing it as a learning experience.
we're forcing it
research.
and like making it look at from different perspectives.
For research,
from
yeah.
the female perspective and the male perspective.
Yeah, for research.
Because maybe she was going to say something, and I would have been like, Taylor, you're wrong. Like, I don't think that
Just
would
for
have been
reference.
that would have been the right way of dealing with that problem. Or she could have been like, Randall,
Vice
you
versa.
handled that very,
Yeah,
like,
for
very bad.
reference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So I did handle that bad.
Okay.
Maybe for the next relationship that I jump in,
Okay, so
I'm
you're doing it for reference.
gonna change, and I'm
Okay.
gonna learn, and
Okay.
my perspective is gonna be totally
I get
different.
it. I get it.
Just for reference, then.
What for reference? Like, I don't understand what you're trying to say. Like, I'm.
Something to look back to. Say what happened. In
Reference
previous.
is like
Yeah.
So for reference.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool.
It's like a team building thing. I've done things where it's like, hey, if things happen or fall apart, you go back, you reenact it, and then you do different scenarios to help you work through it to get to a possible better solution.
Reference.
Right.
Because the way that I've reacted when that has happened was really bad. Like, sometimes I would react really bad, and I would have been like, or I was like on that same person's level, and I was like, oh, this person's upset, now I'm fucking upset.
Yeah.
It's good.
Right.
Thanks.
Okay, I
Reference is
understand.
good.
I know.
That's exactly what was happening, though.
I know, I get it. But the reason why I shut it down is because I don't want to get to the point where we just keep going and going and going and going and going.
But you kept saying you didn't understand or saying you didn't want it to go this way, so that's why I felt like
because
it was
it's.
going.
It's just gonna
Do
keep
you understand
going.
how
It's endless.
scenarios work? You just keep going.
No,
What if-
because we might. What if that was the end of it? What if I was just like, huh? Okay, yeah, that was good.
Exactly.
Okay.
We are currently creating a scenario where this would happen. You see what I mean?
Yeah, but see that. But that's what I'm saying, though. You don't know, and I don't know.
And
So
I
what
don't
if-
want to get
if
to
you-
that point where we don't know anything where we're gonna go.
What I'm just saying, though, is that if you stop the ride from going to its destination, then you're never going to know where it's going to go, right? Or what's a better way of saying that? You know what I'm thinking about.
What?
How do you, like, why would you stop a ride from going, or from a car from driving for whatever reason?
Because you didn't know the destination.
Yeah.
Just because you didn't know what the
Because you didn't want
destination
to
was.
waste gas.
And sometimes those are the best discussions when it goes like far left field.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's
You know,
not, but that's just
I don't have a
how.
problem with scenarios when it comes to reference, but I just know Karr. I don't know. I think he has a certain pride with his podcast that he delivers results.
We ruined it. We ruined it.
Because we
Not
got
reference.
I've gotten to some points on our podcast where it gets fucking ridiculous and it's like so pointless.
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
wants-
feel like it
just
was
wanted
getting
to-
too
I
ridiculous.
thought it would have been a really good
I thought it was
lesson.
going somewhere.
Yeah, I thought it was going somewhere too.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but it's
you
still
guys
like just a
clearly went to the
reference.
scenario where you guys don't agree with certain things and you do agree with things, right?
Well, that's perfect. Like,
Well, isn't that
that's the point. I
isn't
want to
that the
have
point
a
of
conversation
conversation?
where we
For
don't
reference.
agree on something.
For reference, but then it just kept going to like hypotheticals and
No, it was going into like, this is what has happened to me, and I just want to know your perspective and like how would you react in this situation? I just want to know
yeah, but this is not a real situation. It's
because
hard.
it's also a challenging conversation because
I understand that. Randall. But then this is not a scenario where I have a win-loss situation.
some of them are.
Like, I'm not. When you asked me about that question earlier, I can't physically and emotionally get into this question because I've never been in it.
But
So I can't give you
Oh,
an
okay.
answer
So
right now.
sorry. This podcast, we're only allowed to talk about things that benefit Karr.
It's not about being a beneficial to me. It's about being a.
But that's what you just
But
said.
that's exactly what you just said. That you
Just
only
like-
want us to talk about things that benefit you.
But Randall and I found something that we had common ground on, and
That
we
I
went with
was
it.
trying to get a benefit from her.
Not necessarily you guys had to understand it, or
No.
you personally had to go through it. I'm not,
Hey,
that's
here,
fine.
here's what I think.
Here's
Come
what I-
here, come here,
There's a
PC.
lot
Here's
of
what it is.
there's a lot of people in this world that are like Karr.
Mm-hmm.
And if they listen to this podcast and they let you run your situations, they will feel exactly the same as Karr.
Exactly, and you can say exactly the same thing for Randall and I. They'd be
Yeah.
100%.
What if other listeners? See, now you're saying like there could be some listeners that agree with Karr. Okay, well there could be some listeners that are like, holy shit, yeah, that scenario was
And I'm
actually
just
happening to me
explaining
too.
why
The
he
thing
wants
that
to
happened to
stop
Taylor and Randall, actually, that's happening to me right now. What did they do in that scenario? Maybe
Yeah,
I
but
can
I'm
learn
just
from it.
saying.
Is that possible or no?
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
Again,
Kevin Garnett is your favorite basketball player. Anything is possible.
no, think about it. We're going into another hypothetical when we discuss
We're
it.
not, though.
He started it.
You are.
Jericho
just
started
said it right now.
It'll
But
never
Jericho
end.
Jericho
It'll
started
never
it.
end.
It will never end. That's why I stopped it.
Without a result.
You guys just got into another hypothetical
Jericho started it.
without even noticing.
But Jericho, no, I agree that I did it again. But Jericho started it.
Exactly. That's why I shut it down.
Relax.
This is why I don't like getting to hypotheticals.
Yeah.
Because we keep getting to hypotheticals that aren't
I
even
was
fucking
doing
real.
another podcast.
But this wasn't a hypothetical
This
because
is
there's a
not a
real
hypothetical.
scenario.
It is because you guys aren't together and you don't know the answers that your other people
Okay.
get into.
No, but I just wanted to know. Maybe there's something that
Here's how you could have
did.
worded it. What would you do if this happened? Instead of being like,
If
hey,
I
you're
was
this
the
guy,
boyfriend,
you're
No,
this
hey,
girl.
I'd
hey,
never
this
let
is
you
not-
go.
No, wait, hey.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. We could have worded it better and
Yes.
went about it
Exactly.
a different
Alright,
way.
let's go.
Okay? But I'm just gonna put like divide here. We're gonna agree to disagree. We're gonna leave it at that. I feel like Karr, you could have been a little bit open-minded on the situation where we were going with it. Trusted a little bit more. Randall and I should have worded it a little bit better and kind of
There you
maybe
go.
went through it a
Yes,
different
I
way.
There you go.
agree with that.
I agree with
because
that.
Okay.
Done.
If you want answers,
We're not.
you don't
No. Don't talk about it anymore. That's it.
Alright,
We're
let's
done.
go. Fuck.
Okay, so let's pretend, Taylor, you and I are together.
Exactly.
Okay, plugs.
Plugs.
Okay,
Okay.
fuck.
Johnny Bro.
Randall, you're first. Go ahead.
I don't put plugs.
What?
I don't plug anything.
Jericho,
Okay,
go
follow
ahead.
me, Team Developmental. There's also a Bud Spud for this girl that wants to go to Japan. So if you hear this and you want to go, it's on May 2nd.
Yeah.
Hit me up.
What? Who wants to go to Japan?
It's a little girl that has like a sickness that I can't remember right now, but
Oh,
it's like a Bud Spud. It's
Where?
like May 2nd. It's like Essence. Your favorite place, bro. Let me know if you want to support.
Okay, go ahead. Taylor, what do you got?
Is it in the evening?
I don't know. Follow me if you want. I don't care. Carl, take me in the shit that you post.
No,
Go for it or
what's your Instagram? What's your Snapchat? If you want to give that out, I don't care.
You are going to be tagging me in it anyways, so.
No, we
He
want
also
you to
wants
hear
get
it.
some
Taylor, I
your
want to
phone
hear
number.
it.
Yes.
Oh my
It's,
god.
it's a little different avenue when you fucking look through Instagram and Snapchat. If you listen to it, you can understand, right?
Okay, but how are people gonna know? No, I'm not even gonna go down this avenue.
Okay, hypothetically, let's just say that you did.
I know. I just like.
Anyway, end it.
No. Taylor, go ahead, please. Can you do this for me? Can you say your plugs if you really wanted?
My Instagram is Taylor Webb with 2 Y's, and my my Snapchat's T Webbs.
Yeah.
There you go.
Randall.
I told you I don't do it ever.
Ever?
Ever. I don't
I
ever
don't
do
even
it.
remember. Okay, mine is.
If you need a phone,
No, Jericho.
No, Jericho. We shut that down a long time ago.
No, stop. That is one of the rules on the podcast.
But yeah, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram, Keeping With The Karr, Snapchat, Karry. I'm also on Facebook. You can listen on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox. And Jericho, you have Team Developmental. Snapchat, you got Jerry's Cool, JERIZCOOL. Listen to the other podcasts. It's on the RSS feed, https://GuintoBros.podbean.com. If you want to listen to these hypothetical questions,
You can follow Pinto Beans.
Pinto Beans podcast.
It's what we all talk about hypothetical questions.
Hypothetical questions. You can
That is
also-
actually real life scenarios.
Agree to disagree. They're hypothetical, but all right. Thank you. Guinto Bros podcast. Peace.
Woo!